So, today, we are going to be talking about every single issue that every single person has discovered on this game. Basically, I'm going to do a video eventually of all of the issues that I have and also things I want them to change. And second of all, I have direct contact with developers, so I can quite literally find really niche issues with the game that people have found, and then I can pass them on directly, especially if they're actually something that's pretty important. I've already got a list. I've already got a list of things that I think need work, right? So for me, the biggest bit of feedback that I've got so far is that attackers need massive buffs on breakthrough on attack, because right now it's essentially unplayable as attack on breakthrough most of the time, unless you basically have a perfect team or a perfect squad who are going to push and make every single perfect move. And even if you do play perfectly, it's like the last second cap, which is exactly what happened yesterday. The thing that happened to me is my gun loadouts don't save. Players getting Cairo roof. Although it is fun, if half the team is literally on the roof, then obviously it just changes the way the game's going to be played, but I'm sure they already knew that. Shotgun's too good at range. Weird aim bump when falling down. Pistols are too slow to use and too much visual recoil. Not being able to do loadouts whilst in the loading screen between rounds. That's something I thought about. Genuinely, there was like... I don't get why, like, you know when you're matchmaking between rounds, so it has the scoreboard up on the screen, and you're sitting there, and you're just like, why wouldn't you allow me to mess with my loadouts right now? This seems like a perfect time, because it can be up to like 2 to 5 minutes of matchmaking in the menu. So surely we should be able to do our loadouts whilst we're between games, but I don't know about that. Able to use 2 launchers on Engineer and Assault. They already know that. I think that's a bug. I think that's a bug that they know about, but yeah, still, it's a bit weird that you're allowed to use 2 launchers and 2 on Assault, so you can have the... Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, on that subject... Where's my mouse? I can't see it. The Thermite launcher shouldn't stun and slow as well. It just removed that. Insane. Like, why? It already does crazy damage, more than the... Like, as much as the explosive, if not more. And then it slows down and stuns you as well. Insane. Oh, yeah. TTK sometimes too fast, and volumes... These are kind of just like... Yeah. I mean, sometimes... Should the M4, which is a carbine, be a 4-shot kill at close range at 900 RPM? Probably not. Like, it's already, you know, you're already able to use a carbine as a secondary on an assault. So why would it be better than all the assault rifles? It doesn't make sense. What? The recon gadgets falling through floor. Through floor. Yeah. There you go. So these are the ones I have so far. And I'm trying, and the thing is, I know that I've had some things that I've talked about during the streams, and I've forgotten what I said, and I didn't write them down. I was going to write them down, but then I only wrote down one. I literally wrote down a single thing because I forgot. Splash damage added to RPG. I don't think the RPG should have more splash damage than it already does. Like this, like you shouldn't be using the RPG to destroy infantry. And to be honest, I was still absolutely dominating infantry with the RPG anyway, as you can see now. I had multiple instances where your smokes didn't work. I didn't see that. Remove the sweet spot. Now, you see, I actually made a whole video about this, because I made a whole video about the fact that the assault class is essentially just better than the recon class if you want to snipe and actually be aggressive. If you want to be able to, like, do both roles, you just take a sniper rifle on the assault class and you take the M4 carbine as a secondary. GG. You're basically a super soldier, right? But the thing, I think one of the ways to fix that being too overpowered is that you should make the recon class the only class that's able to abuse the sweet spot mechanic. So that way you can take a sniper on the assault class, but you're actually going to be way less effective, and it would actually make sense because you're an assault player. You just picked up a sniper rifle. You're not, designated for that role. You've not been trained for that role. If people want to look into the weird role play of it, so it would make more sense, I think, that the recon classes, in order to make the recon class stronger as well, by the way, because it would just mean that you then have to take the recon class, and you can't have that secondary weapon if you're going to be able to abuse the sweet spot. Spotting needs to be toned down. True. Scoreboard should include. I actually 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Scoreboard should include revives, resupplies. I don't know why they haven't included it in the scoreboard when there's actually space. It's one of the biggest factors, and I don't know why they didn't include it either. I don't know why they haven't, because you want to encourage people to revive, and then on the scoreboard, maybe levels. You could do levels. Level. You want to encourage people to revive. Oh, unable to. Yeah. Unable to change unlocked attachments in round. Yeah, that was annoying. I agree. The spread on shotguns is way too tight. Yeah, I've already said shotgun TTK or shotgun damage at range too high. You should be able to queue into games with more than 4 people. You can. Oh, you're saying you want to be okay. No, you want to be able to queue into a game with like a clan or something. You can't do that. You have to understand that would break the matchmaking. The reason why it's a maximum of 4 is because the more players in a party that you're trying to matchmake into, the harder that the matchmaker is going to have to find you a lobby that you'll actually fit into. Enemies drop an ammo pouch. That would be a good thing for the assault class, specifically the assault class. But yeah, enemies dropping small amounts of ammo. Also, being able to take ammo as well as health from medics, because I don't understand why the support class is like, yeah, you can take health from the support class, but I can't walk up to them and take ammo as well. What's the difference? It's SAO. Thank you for the 7 months. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for the 45. Bob 7143. Thank you, dude. Server browser, guys. You're being okay. Just asking for a server browser. It's not going to happen, is it? We're not getting a server browser just because I say, hey, by the way, can we get a server browser? And they're just like, oh, sure thing, dude. It's like, that's going to have to be a whole thing they're going to have to decide. They're not going to do that. Searching for settings. Yeah. Search bar for settings. That wouldn't. I mean, I think that would be very difficult to implement, but we'll see. Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. Being the glare on Cairo from inside buildings. Too strong. Too many settings. Well, that's not a problem, is it? Having too many settings is never an issue. It's more about the fact of how they organize them. Don't release a broken bomber. Yeah, I'll give them that feedback. Do you think the BF labs will be abused for weapon XP? Absolutely, yes. Is Sniper Glint too obnoxious? Yeah, I agree with that. Sniper Glint too crazy. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, bro. It is a little bit like, bro, we get it, you know. Like it's like, yeah, okay, man. A proper firing range? We have a proper firing range. What do you mean? Are they gonna have bigger maps on release? Yeah, they are. Yeah. Motion sensor useless. I agree with that. Motion sensor range too small. The game visibility is quite bad. That's a little bit too. That's a bit too What's the word? General.
All of them, dude. What the hell?
Fix tank ADS? What's wrong with tank ADS? No text for request ammo health. There is text. It's just not always there. Oh, I have one. I have a big one. Defib range for revives feels too close or too small. When you're going to revive people... Oh, my camera just turned off. When you're going to revive people, you run up to them and you're like, oh, okay, well, I actually need to do this with the camera on.
Thank you so much, dude. We've had like 200 gifted subs today as well. Thank you so much, Garnet and Black, with the 60 gifted subs, by the way.
You run up to people, do the defibs, and they're like, I don't know, 2 feet away, and you do it, and it doesn't work. You do it again, you get even closer, you do it, and it's like, oh, I need to be like, there's certain points where it definitely feels like I should have been close enough, realistically, that would have worked, but it just like, it's like you're just out of range for no reason. I don't really know why that happened. RPG splash on infantry non-existent, but that's honestly kind of, do you know what I mean? That's honestly kind of good. I don't like the fact that I like the fact that if I'm gonna hit someone with an RPG, I have to hit them with it on as infantry, as opposed to just using it as like a spammy, like, you know, just basically a pocket grenade launcher. You shouldn't be able to just use the splash damage on the RPG to kill infantry. And if they increase the range of the explosion on the RPG, they need to reduce the damage. It's that simple.
Got your code. Nice.
Glint even when not scoping in? I don't think that's a thing. How would you? Did you even test that?
You got a code too. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Lucky you won't put you in the.
I saw some people say them things about tow missiles and jets are reused from 2042. Yeah.
Oh no, 4. It was the squad.
Platoons and clans need to come back again. That's like too much of a big change that they might do in the future, but it's like not really something they can change now. Oh, someone mentioned being able to do settings in the firing range. Yeah, that is a good one. Settings access in firing range. Resupplying jet at enemy base as NATO. Wait, why would you want to be? Why would you want to be able to do the enemy base? I'm confused. Ah, spotting.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You are spotted. Notification around minimap. I don't know why. So in other games, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if it's. Was it in? Maybe it's in Call of Duty they've done it. I don't know if they've done it in Battlefield. If you are 3D spotted, like these guys are right now, I think you should know about it. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a 3D marker above your head, you should maybe just have a very subtle red box around your minimap just saying, hey, you are being spotted right now, just in case you didn't know. Because, and I know what people are going to say. People are going to say, no, that's not realistic. It's like, no, and neither is a big red dot over someone's head. Do you know what I mean? Like, this, people don't have giant red dots over their head. It does show you that. I don't think it does for every single time. SMGs are too strong. I don't know if they are. I would argue that the M4 outclasses the SMGs in every way. I think that the M4 is literally better than any SMG you can build. Like even if they have 100% what's it called? Even if they have like 100% hip fire, you still outclass the SMGs in every way with the M4. There needs to be more cool skins like Nicki Minaj or maybe Sabrina Carpenter. I'll put it down. I'll put it down, Leia. I'll put it down, Leia. What's up, Schleifer? Too much aim, stepping down. Yeah, I've already got that on there. Compass should be displayed by default. I actually agree with that, and I don't know why it isn't. Compass, because a lot of people don't even know how to turn it on. Compass on by default. There you go. We need a study skin. Yeah, I'll put that on. I'll put that down later.
But by the way, Garnet, thank you very much for the 100 gifted
There you go. We need a test range. We have a test range. In fact, it might even be open now. Or maybe, actually, no, I think they did remove it. Did you have the helicopter repair bug? No, I didn't see that. One thing I did have, though, so in fact, you might even be able to see it in this gameplay right now. The helicopter blades. I play on, like, low, medium settings. My helicopter blades just didn't spin. Most of the time. The helicopter just kind of floated around and their helicopter blades don't spin. And the bombs on the jet... And the bombs on the jet looked like Minecraft models for some reason. I don't know why. And I think it's because of my settings. Right? I think it's because of my settings that's like a low level of detail, but something's not working. And I don't know why that was. Shotgun felt a bit weak. Are you mad? Aaron? The shotgun was insane. So, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, and this is something I've talked about before. The shotgun in Battlefield games, you have to stand still for like half a second when you shoot it. And then you're like 100% accurate, and it's insane. No, he's got to be joking. He's got to be joking. He's got to be joking. Thank you, though. PLN, Smokes, hang on. Smokes seems to be client side. The grenade animation's too fast, and smoke resupply takes too long. I will say the grenade animation in this game is possibly the most insane grenade animation we've ever had. Like, you literally launch it out of your chest without even thinking about it. I know it looks bad. It feels good for gameplay, but I think it might be a bit too fast. You just go, just like he has like them on like. Has that ever happened before? I don't know. It's insane. And one thing I think, if I remember anything from older Battlefield games, the fact that the grenade animation is slow is one of the reasons why you would lose a fight. Because if you're holding an angle and you know a guy's in a room, they have to pull out the grenade. They go, tink, and then they throw it. And by that time, you can push them because you can hear that they've pulled out a grenade. But in this game, they could be mid-fight, chuck a grenade in your room while shooting you. It's like, what the hell, dude? It's like crazy. And it honestly it's a bit oppressive, right? It's a bit like you can throw a grenade with no downside, and it just like gives you an advantage for no reason. Absolutely insane. So maybe if they had somewhere in the middle. You think engineers should have access to C4, but then what would the recon class have? Have they said anything about relocking weapons to classes? No. Grenades need to be able to be thrown away like BF5 and 2042. I mean, I think they've gone for like a BF3 style grenade, and that's why they haven't done that. Right? I think they've gone like, oh yeah, well, you know, maybe if you could just like shuffle, like maybe with the grenades, right? You shouldn't be able to launch it away, but you can just shuffle it enough away that you could maybe stop it from blowing up in your face, but it will still do damage. But maybe a grenade counter / push. That'd be nice. Yeah, you just give it a little bat, but like none of that stuff where you basically launch it across the map. What if you could volley it back with a well-timed kick? Imagine if you saw a grenade coming towards you and you meleeed and launched it back. I'd like that. That would be fun. Thank you very much, Garnet. Won't the grenade counter be the trophy system? I mean, maybe. We just don't have it yet. Have you guys even considered how insane the ladder's going to be? Like, you know how, like, in Battlefield 2042, people complained about people coming from random angles and you could never know where they're coming from? It's going to be that again. It's definitely going to be that again. Where you know the map like the back of your hand, you're running through, and then there's going to be 6 assaults in random spots on the wall. Yeah, I don't know. Keep jumping into a slide, remove jumping out of a slide. I think as long as you don't gain velocity by jumping out of the slide, I don't mind it. Don't you think you should be able to repair? Don't think you should be able to repair out of bounds? That's a classic Battlefield thing. It's one of those things. You still have to land the chopper to do it. Is there a reason why you jump out of the chopper to repair? It's just. I think it's just faster, to be honest. And then it also means that you're hidden from the enemy if they're flying over. How about countering melee? Wouldn't be bad.
Thank you so much.
Streamers are ruining games. How? Instead of me making a video or making a stream about something, there would just be a forum post or an article. That's it.
3,500 actually.
It would just be a different format. Did I see a bug with Bloom when shooting an assault rifle? Shroud brought it up last stream. He had to slide to unbug it. Where shooting? So you just have maximum. You just have maximum Bloom, is what you're saying. What are my thoughts on the sliding? If you've played 2042, guys, you will know that the movement in this game is nowhere near as crazy as it was in 2042. And that's not an understatement. I made a whole video on the movement of 2042 and what you could do with it. You can't do the movement that you can do in 2042. Trust me. So it's still actually a downgrade. Get rid of Bloom. But then, so what? They get rid of Bloom and then add more visible recoil? You can't just get rid of the Bloom. Guns are already laser beams even with this Bloom, by the way. Like, you know, you guys say that there's a lot of Bloom, which is true. There is Bloom. Every single Battlefield game has Bloom. But I was, like, 5-shotting people from 100 meters away with an assault rifle without having to tap fire. I don't know, man. This was probably the least amount of Bloom we've potentially ever had. No? Am I crazy for that? 6 rockets is too many. Movement and hit range was not as smooth as I saw on stream. No, absolutely.
It's too hard to hit. Oh, now we're getting locked.
How weird that you were suggested. We were in opposing lobby at the top of each team. Oh, cool. What, in this lobby or just another one?
We flew too close to the sun.
I don't know.
Where is he?
So little Bloom, it's barely noticeable in comparison to other titles. That's what I'm saying. I think we can all agree we need specialist perk and an MW2 backpack style system. That's what the assault class is, dude. I'm not even kidding. The all jokes aside, the beta felt great. A few tweaks needed, but fun. Precisely. UI needs work. Too many clicks to get to loadout without realizing. By the way, so if you didn't know, I didn't know this. It took me a while. If you right click, so instead of left click, right click on your guns, it would instantly take you to the customize. But when you don't do that, or you do it on controller, it was like, click on gun, modify loadout, customize. And it would be like, why isn't this just bring up the customized screen straight away? Just instantly. And then I don't have to, I mean, it's like, but it doesn't say that if you right click, it would do that. You know what I mean? It was very weird. We need dead zone options for triggers and sticks. You see, that's an area that I just don't understand. I think Lackey is directly talking to devs trying to get the controller options sorted out. Why are we saying bloom and not spread? They're the same thing. Although someone tried to tell me that they weren't the same thing and called me an idiot. The C4 should not have a cooldown. Oh, you're talking about like the fact that you can just infinitely regain C4 on the recon class. Yeah, I mean, or guys, think about this. Instead, every time you go over a dead body that you've killed as recon, you get a C4 back. The same way that you should get little ammo pouches. Attacking with paddles should give double health, not damage. I mean, obviously, you know, the game isn't realistic because obviously in real life, everyone knows that you gain health when you get defibbed and you don't die. So that is a good point that you bring up there. But, you know, that would be kind of broken, wouldn't it? You know, I get that. That would be a little bit too strong. You become healthier. Yeah. Do we have... Oh, I guess this is just... Ooh, look, shotgun gameplay. Ooh, shotgun gameplay. Health regen is too quick. It is on the... I think it might be a bit too quick on the assault class. How am I still playing if the beta is down? Well, just one-handed, obviously. Instead of combat ladders, medics should get stretchers. And 2 medics can carry a body rather than drag. I mean, that would look hilarious. Maybe for the portal mode. Stretcher races. How did you feel about the suppression effects? It was fine. One thing I found weird is that people have made a point of saying, like, oh, suppression shouldn't stop health regen. But I'm pretty sure that it's always done that. In every Battlefield, no? Unless I'm pretty sure, even in Battlefield 1, definitely. Battlefield 2042, maybe. But I'm pretty sure it has always, if you were getting health regen, it has stopped your health regen if you get suppressed again. Do I think class balance is in a good place? No. That's one of the biggest issues with the game. I mean, apart from... What's it called? Apart from... yeah, for me, it just feels like the assault class is basically the super soldier. Medic is obviously just a good choice all round. I don't think medic is unbalanced. I just think that right now the only reason to take recon is the spawn beacon, and they're about to lose it. You see what I mean? Like the recon class is. I saw a poll on everyone's favorite classes in Battlefield 6, and the top class was medic, which is good, I think. Top class was medic. Second class was assault. Third class was engineer. And recon was 10%, which is pretty normal because 10% of people playing sniper. But those people were picking the recon class for the spawn beacon and the spawn beacon alone. That's why they played the class. Now they're getting rid of the spawn beacon on recon, and now it's like, why am I playing recon? What's the point? Like this sucks. Motion sensor sucks. Not having the spawn beacon. Motion balls might be good. At least. You get a faster rate of fire on snipers, I guess. And then you have a shitty pistol that doesn't even work. Like, it's genuinely bad. Not gonna lie, I didn't see anyone on Assault. Everyone played Medic or NG. Well, no, a lot of people were playing Assault. Like, second most popular on Assault, I would say. Because of the shotgun on close range. So, like how I'm playing now. Loads of people were using AR shotgun to run around this map and just use the shotgun to obliterate everyone. Why couldn't they keep the 4 classes of Battlefield 5? Because they are basically saying that the class system, it doesn't need to be based around your weapons anymore. They just like the idea that you pick a class and you use the gadgets, but then you can use any gun, and it's not really about what class you pick. But the assault class is so different from anything they've ever done before. Any class could use shotgun, yeah, but you could have an SMG in a shotgun on assault, or you can have a sniper in a shotgun on assault, or you can have an AR in a shotgun on assault, because there are certain situations where, yeah. If they take the spawn beacon off recon, why don't they add a throwable drone? They do have a drone. They have a drone, a type of drone, and also they don't have at least the recon does have UAV. Which is another thing that people like that I would say that's the only positive to taking the recon class is the UAV. Weird ultimate ability. Everything else just felt really lackluster. Just like nobody drops ammo. Well, they forget to drop the ammo. And that's why I've said I don't understand why you can't go up to a medic and click on them or press E on them and take ammo from them as well, not just health.
Hey, look at the fall off. The fall off is measured. Look at it. I can't believe we fell off so hard.
I refused to use the shotgun because it was stupidly broken. That's great, but everyone else just is going to go, right, what's the meta? Great, I'll use that. Make it easier to play in the same match queue with more than 4 people. Guys, the problem is, how many people do you want to play with? Right? How many people do you realistically want to play with? Unfortunately, until Portal comes out, you have to think about there is a balance issue there where if you want to play with 6, 8, 12 people, then you're just going to dominate the lobby, aren't you? Which is what you could definitely do in former Battlefields. And you know what? If we're being really honest, you know, the team stacking, was that actually a good version of the game for everyone? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's fine, but at the end of the day, it's genuinely oppressive if one team has 12 players all on Discord. No, but it was fun. But you have to understand that you're going to ruin someone else's experience because you have fun. And don't get me wrong, that's going to happen naturally anyway. So you got to play with all your mates. And that's what I'm saying, guys. You will be able to do that in Portal, right? In Portal, you'll be able to have someone who's in a server and they'll be able to switch sides, and you can have 32 clan members against 32 0.4 KD players. And then they can choose whether they want to join that server, as opposed to, you know, being matchmaked in with 12 people in a clan who are just going to absolutely dominate you. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. It's just how it is. And we still got into lobbies as 6, 7 players. It was just harder. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Did you end up probably dominating a little bit harder? Probably. The problem is content creators creating and sharing the meta. Okay, have you heard of forums before? Have you heard of community posts, Steam posts? Have you heard of have you heard of people just play the game long enough and they get killed by the same gun over and over again until eventually everyone realizes that one gun's just really good? If content creators didn't make the videos and the streams about the really overpowered weapons, they would just find out eventually anyway. That's it. That's all that would happen. Streamers find out the meta the same way non-streamers do. Now the information gets spread a lot quicker, for sure. 100%. Like that's society now. My favorite thing is I make a video and I put effort into it just for 600 other people to make the exact same video, steal the entire concept, take every point I've ever made, and then just put it into a short. It's just like, well, all right, sick. So like it doesn't matter what I do. You're everything. All the information that you think is personal to you is just gonna get like posted somewhere else. It is what it is, and it's not gonna. Even if I talk about it on stream and I don't make a video, someone's just gonna make a video on it probably. And that's not me personally. I'm not like, wow, I'm just so popular that anything I say on stream instantly becomes viral, and that's amazing. It's more like it just happens to everyone. There was no real sniper scope in the game. I agree. I think actually I'm gonna write that down. Why no scopes above 6x? I don't know. I honestly don't know why. I guess because we've only. But and by the way, something that you might not know is that the large map, or what was considered the large map, was considered a medium map, and not a large map. So maybe they were like, well, they don't need a sniper scope because this was only a small map test, basically, so we don't need to do any of that shit. I think there are bigger scopes, and if there's not, that's a serious like oversight, because I'm pretty sure. What do you think about the 3 mags for assault on the base weapon? I think that they need to make it so that you can get ammo pouches from the enemies that you kill on assault, and that should be one of the perks of taking the class. Because I feel like support doesn't need them, and I also found that, well, engineer, I guess, I don't know, engineer relies a lot more on finding ammo anyway. Especially working with a medic or a supply. Support, that's the one. Is it possible to put 6x or 8x on a DMR? Yes, I put a 6x scope on the DMR. I ended up moving back to 4x though, because I think I gave away my position way too much using the 6x on a DMR, and then I would just get one-shot headshot by the snipers. Oh, different reticles. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Also, why no custom reticles? Like, I just want a cross scope as an option. Why do I have to have, like, on the 6x scope, why is it a weird, just round dot? And I know that's what it looks like in real life. But I want to... Like, the ACOG's good, actually. The ACOG is exactly what I'd expect from a sight. Which is the aim point with mill bars that you can see, and you can actually judge the shot. But like, look, that's perfect. This ACOG sight, great. That's what I would expect. But then on the 6x scope, it's like this weird dot with tiny bars that you can barely see. I feel like 5x and lower shouldn't have scope glint. I don't think they do. I don't think the ACOG has scope glint. I think. I don't know. You also have to remember that there's no FOV. What's it called? There's no independent / affected FOV. The 4x. So wait, I'm hearing two different things here. ACOG didn't, 5x did, 4x does have glint. I don't think so. Every sight on the sniper had glint on the beta except iron sights. Yeah, see, I wouldn't know that. Slide twice to fix bloom. You know, I think they already know about that bug. They already know about that bug. I'm pretty sure. I mean, especially if it's like a shroud clip, like that would be what 10,000 views. The devs have seen that. Close range upper body shots were eerily inconsistent for me. Neck shot didn't one shot on like 40 meters. Yeah, because that's not that neck shot isn't a headshot according to the game. Only headshot. So in this game, you now have, if you didn't go into like the firing range, it goes headshot, upper chest shot, lower chest shot, stomach, legs, arms. And the arms, the upper arms at least, all count as chest as well. Knife is useless behind sides takedown. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, settings to move minimap size and positioning. I mean, I would love that. UI customization. Brackets. Map size. Health, location, etc. I would, you know what I would love? And I don't understand why they didn't do this, because they had it in Battlefield 5. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, I think I was spamming the spacebar here because it would look funny. I don't understand why I can't have my health bar right here in the middle of the screen. Because I'm constantly having to look down to the left, especially when it's right at the bottom here. I would love to have my health right here. Like you did in BF5. And I don't know why they didn't allow you to do that. And then obviously I'd have the minimap probably like this big. Like maybe 150% bigger. And maybe if I could move my teammates to here, just above the minimap, as opposed to like cluttering up this side of the screen.
What are we watching? No, I was just down.
That would be amazing. Why isn't the whole UI customizable? I don't know. Oh, and also that's the thing. Oh, that's one thing. I want to be able to turn off minimap auto zoom. Because right now you can change how much it zooms by, but like sometimes, let's say you see this like awning here, right? So you're running around, you can see everyone on the minimap. You go underneath the balconies, and the game's like, well, looks like you're inside now. Let me just zoom you in by 900% so that you can't. And I'm like, but now I can't see what's around me. And then you get shot by, like, you're not even in the building yet, and you get shot by someone who's not even on your minimap anymore. And you're like, why would I want that? I just want the minimap to stay at the same level the whole game. I wouldn't want it to zoom in ever. And it does. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change it. It was very weird. A tooltip under each scope to tell us if it has glint or not. Yeah. I have a glint thing. Glint. Sniper glint too crazy. And no glint tooltip. No glint tooltip on attachments, on scopes. There you go. There's a lot of shooting teammates going on. Team color doesn't appear. Oh, do you know what? One thing I saw that was really smart. You see how? So this is something that I saw Sacriel do. So you see how I am the same color as my squad mates, right? So it's green and green and green. And obviously, if you were to glance over to your minimap and see a squad mate, you might get confused that it's you if they're really close together. You can actually change the color of your minimap icon to like pink. And you can also change the color of your field of view, like, what's it called? What do you call that? Cone on the minimap. And you can actually make it way easier to see where you're looking specifically and where you are. And I might do that. I didn't do that. But changing the... You can check... Because obviously you are the same color as your squad, but you can actually change that color on the minimap. Anyone mention time to die is real quick? I mean, the time to death is essentially a netcode and a TTK issue. So you're seemingly getting shot round corners a lot because the game is registering that you haven't moved yet, and then also the guns kill so fast that you can barely react to them. I mean, we worked out that the time to kill of the M4A1 at close range was 230 milliseconds, and human reaction time is average 180 milliseconds. So you have 40 milliseconds to get away from that guy who's just shot you in the back. And that's just not feasible. Obviously, there's going to be guns that... And that's without headshots, by the way. If it's with headshots, it's like 130 or 150 milliseconds. So literally, absolutely no way you're ever surviving if you get one headshot with the M4. So maybe something needs to be done to just slow that down slightly. Worst take ever. What is? Which one? 180 is not average, more like 280. No, I think 200, especially for most people gaming, it's about 200 milliseconds, I'd say. So anyway, what I'm saying is it makes it even worse. If the average is way higher than that, then yeah, you die before you even realize that you're being shot. Have you experienced doors opening whilst dragging teammates? Oh, I've not seen that. You should have... Yeah, but what I'm saying is 40 milliseconds is 1/20th of a second. There's no way you're doing anything in 1/20th of a second. 200 is average when expecting a change, yeah. So not like, you know, randomly... Yeah, you know what I mean. In real life, are you surviving that? Nah, you see that. I mean, you're literally saying bad take, and then you talk about realism in the video game. This is a video game. Okay, we respawn. We have health bars. You can be shot in the head with a pistol and heal from it. This is a video game. It has to be balanced. There has to be some level of, you know, there has to be some level of understanding and reaction and being able to, like, you know, be able to act within the game that's fun without being realistic. And don't get me wrong, there will be hardcore servers where you're just going to one-shot everyone, and you'll be able to do that, which will be great. But that's not how video games work, unfortunately. It's not. And for some people that is fun, but for me, it certainly wouldn't be. The parachute time is crazy. Oh my god, you brought up such a good point. Parachutes are weird. Sometimes too fast. Some, like, parachutes need work. I don't know how to kind of, like, the parachute system is so weird. You can go, like, I'm not kidding, like 80 miles an hour. You can get 80 miles an hour on the parachute, and it will literally make your character go so fast they'll lag across the screen. And then also it instead of like you'll cut the parachute. What? You cut the parachute, right? And you'll just like hang in the air for like 2 seconds, and then you'll get in the parachute again. It doesn't make any sense, and it's actually worse than the COD parachute still. Battlefield's parachute system used to be better than any other game, but Call of Duty's parachute right now is genuinely better. Like, it makes sense. The parachute, like, obviously it's still faster than you probably expect. It doesn't really make sense that you pull it out twice. But, like, in terms of gameplay, it feels way smoother. Whereas in the Battlefield one, it's like, you travel at 500 miles an hour, you cut the parachute, you stay in the air stationary for, like, 2 seconds, you get back in the parachute again. It doesn't make any sense. It's really weird. It needs to be more smooth, more, how do I put this? More understandable, readable. Could you ask them to add a no reload option in the firing range? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And also unlimited ammo. Unlimited ammo, no reload mode in firing range. That's not a bad idea. On close range, like under 50 meters, anything above the nipple should be a one-shot. With the sniper, that would be completely broken. I think if they're going to do a close range one-shot with a sniper, it needs to be 0 to maximum 15 meters. Because then it becomes, again, just too good. Options to have a 2D minimap? I mean, maybe for performance or optimization reasons. Am I going to send my fixed list to Battlefield? Yes. Because, as I said, I'm in a unique position where I have access to developers, so I can obviously just give this list. Not that anything will change, by the way, because I've done this stuff in the past. I've given lots of feedback to lots of games, and absolutely nothing's changed. But it will at least maybe notify them of issues that they might not know about. Can I even see YouTube chat? I can. Repair tools. Oh, actually, that is true. Repair tool was a little bit crazy. Repair tool spam was too efficient. I think there was certain points where if you just had enough people repair tooling, the vehicle was invincible. I think there needs to be an absolute peak for fixing the vehicle. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure there was a point where you could fix the tank from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds. There might just need to be a maximum heal that you can do, which would still be like 5 seconds. But yeah, it was kind of crazy how fast you could do it. Pistol iron sight's completely buggy. Yeah, we've already talked about how bad the pistol is. The pistol sucks. It was terrible. I refuse to use it. Hello, Horror Show. What's up? You sat on top of the tank spamming the repair tool for a challenge. That's what I'm saying. I don't think a single engineer should have their I don't think there's a single engineer should have any issues repairing, like getting a maximum. But if there's multiple engineers on one vehicle, there should be an absolute maximum for the repair speed. You can't even cook the grenade. You've never been able to cook the grenade, and for good reason. Because if you were able to cook grenades in Battlefield, you could see a group of people cook the grenade, either run in and end yourself and blow them all up, which would be funny. It would be, but also very frustrating. And also because you could basically just get the grenade, cook it, instant blow up in someone's face and kill them instantly. It's not fun. BF1 and impact nades. Yeah, but they did less damage than normal nades. Thoughts on the UI with the tickets? I mean, it's been there before. I don't really have an issue with that. Did I experience a bug where I go in third person but the camera stays in place? I didn't have that one. Grenade physics, there's no bounce. But I think I think it's because that's what they did in Battlefield 3. I feel like the grenades in this game feel like Battlefield 3 grenades, mainly because of the weird little UI element they have. Have you got anything for swapping of kit, weapon accidentally when reviving, dragging, maybe a different key? I think the reason why they don't do different keys for things that are interactable is because there's not enough buttons on a controller, and I'm genuinely serious about that. We've had this discussion before about having different keys for different things. There is just not enough buttons on a controller. But maybe they could add it for PC, but then obviously that would be like... The running SMG stock is broken AF. But this is what I mean. It is, kind of, but the M4 just clears everything anyway, so... They need to do a serious balance pass anyway. Did you experience the smoke? I mean, obviously, you know, with that thumb grip where you can run and sprint and hip fire, obviously just don't improve the hip fire. Make the hip fire worse so that you basically have to choose between being able to shoot and sprint and having good hip fire. The only thing I complain about is the shotgun. Yeah, I've already said that the shotgun spread is, like, too good. If you... Basically, you can two-shot someone at 50 meters away. And yes, that's realistic, but it's not fun in a video game. I know. Have you mentioned about the explosive splash damage being terrible? You see, Stabbies, I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't be spamming explosive splash damage. I think the issue with the splash damage on explosives is the radius, but the damage. If you want a bigger radius on the damage, I think that the damage should be lessened. I know nobody said spamming, but what I'm trying to say is that I find that getting hit with like 2 RPGs behind cover is often a not very fun experience. But at the same time, you also had the grenade launcher which did better than that. But like an RPG to the feet of anyone should kill them. No, because that's cheesy. That's easy. That's way too good. You know what I mean? I think for a balance perspective, if you can just go RPG bang to the floor, it's just like, dude, that's, you know. And even the grenade launchers didn't do that. They did like maximum 60 damage, I think. That's where I'm just like, because I use the engineer class quite a lot, and I was sniping people with the RPG, and they're more accurate now. You're more accurate with the RPGs now. I swear that they used to have like a random deviation on them, and now they're basically 100% accurate if you know the drop. So yeah, so I think if they are going to change the range that the explosive, what's it called? That the explosive splash damage does hit enemies, they need to then reduce the damage even more, because it would be frustrating to play against. They're faster than ever too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't get the damage stun on the vehicles, and I don't know if that's a bug with the netcode or if that's intentional, but like vehicles are already kind of, you know, pretty rough to fight against anyway, but being stunned every time you get hit by the vehicle is kind of just like, yeah, you know, I imagine it's a very painful thing to experience, and that would slow you down. But getting hit by the vehicles and getting the stun, it felt laggy as well. It didn't feel good. I feel like that might just need to be removed. Stun on splash damage from vehicle hits. I've also said to remove the stun from the grenade launcher on the assault class, because it's absolutely horrible. Swissgotech, Maramox, and Striku, thank you very much for the tier 1, 42 months, and the 2 primes. Thank you. Floen, have you talked about the flight mechanics, especially heli, combined with flight stick support? As far as I know, they might add flight stick support, but it's not going to be a focus until much later in the game. The way you've got to look at it is they're getting the fundamentals down first, and if they have time, they'll add that in later, but I really don't think they're going to add that in anytime soon. But yes, it is what it is in that case. Can you turn camera shake down to 0%, not stop on 20%? Some of it, you could argue that some of the camera shake would be arguably gameplay related, because someone firing a grenade at you should probably mess your screen up a little bit, but I think you actually can turn it off in the config, so yeah, I don't know. If you can turn it off in the config, then they should probably let you do that in the normal menu. Did you experience the smoke grenade bug? No, a couple of people have said that now. Smoke grenade not working every time. What happened when a class uses a weapon that isn't the recommended weapon? Not a lot. Everyone just did it. It didn't really matter. Footstep audio. Now, for me personally, I would hear the footsteps, right? If there was absolutely no other sounds going on. If there was any other sounds going on, I would hear one footstep and then die. Which is pretty not... And unfortunately, if you've played Battlefield before, that is every Battlefield game ever. Now, if they make the footsteps too loud, it might... You have to understand that that's how it's always been. And honestly, you do want people to be able to sneak around sometimes. But maybe if they made it so that the recon class had quieter footsteps and everyone else's were louder, that would actually make you another reason to actually use the recon class, which I think they do have, by the way. The recon class has another class trait on one of the other picks where you can have quieter footsteps. But yeah, the footsteps in this game, it does feel like sometimes people just suddenly appear and you're just like, dude, they were behind me the whole time. I was sprinting. I would have heard something. But yeah, so I had that a lot. So I think it needs a small adjustment to volume, like 10 or 20%, just so that you can hear more than one footstep when they're running. Yeah. I think classes to go back to what they were traditionally that's not going to happen. So this is what you have to understand. So now that we've played the beta and they've showcased the game, the data that they're going to get back is that loads of people played it, loads of people enjoyed it. They're not going to change the classes drastically now. Except they did do that in BF5, but we're not going to talk about that. I very much doubt they're going to suddenly do a big turnaround and change massive things in the game. They're going to have options for people to have class-locked weapons, but I think that it's going to be very much like this is kind of how the game is going to be for the most part. They're not going to change too much. Maybe they will, but historically, from beta to release, you'll see about a 10% change. If there was performance issues, you might see bigger changes. Like visual and performance stuff is the stuff that they really change. But in terms of like the balance, historically, things don't really change much between now and launch. Unfortunately. What about flying far when being downed? You shouldn't fly like that. I think that's just it's obviously it's crazy and it doesn't really make sense, but it does it makes for some fun. Oh, you guys can't see. It makes for some fun stuff sometimes. But I get what you mean. Like the actual launching of the ragdolls can mean that you can basically die and be unresable sometimes. Have you already did you see how many cheaters they blocked or banned? Yes. And I've already seen people take that stat and use it in the wrong way. They said that they've had 300,000 cheating attempts blocked. But what if it's one guy that cheated 300,000 times? Thoughts? But what I'm saying is that I think they are like it's a good thing for them, but in reality, I don't think that's 300,000 players banned from the game. It's like no, it was 300,000 attempts blocked in terms of. I assume the same player on this free beta possibly tried to do it several times. So it's you know, and then people are like, yeah, that was 300,000 players that were banned. Someone even in my YouTube comments the other day said, I was like, oh yeah, 500,000 concurrent players on Steam, and they went, no, it's actually only 200,000 because 300,000 of those players got blocked. And I was like, oh my god, that's some mental gymnastics to get to that. They think that the live player count means that 300,000 of those players were banned. I don't know how they got to that, but that's what they said. They were like 300,000 players got banned. That means there was only 200,000 players playing live. By the way, I think I ran past an enemy there. But that doesn't make sense. I have seen that I've seen like forum posts, Discord posts from cheating Discords. Not personally, All right, I've seen them on Twitter. And my friend. I've seen like forum posts on Discord and stuff about the cheaters saying like, "Oh, I got banned. Oh, I wasn't able to get in. Oh, this got banned. They're getting everything right now." And I really and this is something I think is important. Although I want them to celebrate, beating off the cheaters, right? I don't like it when everyone's like, "Hooray! We finally did it. We've completed cheating." And then a month later, you end up with cheaters everywhere, and it's just like, you know what I mean? You end up with cheaters everywhere, and it was just like, okay, but we were all sitting there being like, "Ha, stupid cheaters! What are you gonna do now?" And then eventually they find a way through it. It's kind of like, why don't we just, celebrate it, but let's not like pretend it's like, yeah, and that's right. They've been absolutely beaten this time. And it's like, because they'll find another way. I think we should just be like, the expectation should be a bit more like, yeah, and now we need to keep doing that, as opposed to going a little crazy on like, yeah, we got him, and then like, that's what happened with Ricochet, and where they literally did these like full on like posts like, look at this, we got rid of 300,000 cheaters, and here's them crying in Discord, and then obviously that basically gives them the fuel to be like, all right, well, okay, we'll just ruin the game in other ways then. I don't really know how you solve that. I don't like it when they use it as marketing. I think that's when it feels like oof, because it's going to come back to bite you eventually. There's 3,000 people in the beta right now, which means there's 297,000 cheaters not playing right now. You never thought about that. No ADS FOV. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't know why there isn't the option. I also don't understand why the FOV for all the sites is really zoomed out, like the sniper scopes. Like the scopes are all like very much in the center of your screen, further away from your face, which is realistic. But in previous games, you actually had the scope quite zoomed in on your face. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe the bigger scopes will have less of that issue. What's your opinion on the kernel driver being injected when the game is launched and not a boot, giving a window for cheats to be injected between the boot time and the game launch? Do you think they need to change this? I don't know enough about that personally. So far, they're doing a good job. I mean, if there's an option, for people to do that, hopefully they find a way to fix that. But I don't know how they would change that drastically between now and launch. You know what I mean? If that is possible. Unrelated, how do I mentally prep myself before starting a stream? I wake up, I have a cup of coffee, I stare at the screen blankly for like 20 minutes, and then I go, right, well, I've got to start this thing, haven't I? And then I press start, and hopefully things just fall into place. That's usually what happens. Should we be worried about cheating in general? Not as much as games like Call of Duty, I would say, now. The kernel level drive, or what's it called? The secure boot stuff probably will help a little bit. There will be cheaters eventually, but also you have to remember that the multiplayer, at least, is a paid game. So hopefully it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be annoying enough that if you cheat, or it's annoying enough to start with to even start cheating, but then it's even more annoying that if you get caught, you then have to spend, even if they get cheap keys from some random country, which is what usually happens, it's still annoying enough that it will be a less often thing. One thing that I get frustrated with is why they don't kind of clamp down on really obvious cheating stats. And that's the thing that they did in Call of Duty, like 80% headshot ratio over 4 games. It's just not possible. Like, unless you're literally trying to be a dickhead and you're like, I'm going to break the cheating system by purposefully only going for headshots. Like, and they get banned. Like, it never made sense to me that they go, yeah, this player's, we just don't know if he's cheating. The headshot 80% headshot kill ratio could just be an anomaly. And it's like, no, it definitely isn't though, is it? But yeah, it's a weird thing that they do with that I don't understand why they don't utilize that more often. No, because that's the thing. If you really wanted to, right, you could purposefully only aim for the head with a sniper and guarantee that you're every time you fire the sniper rifle, you only do it when someone's completely standing still over the course of 100 kills. But yeah, you just got off BF5 and it's demoralizing playing against tanks that go 100 and 0. That is part of the experience of Battlefield, though. You will have times where you're on the losing team, and then you have times where you're the winning team. It's just how easy it is to guarantee that you're on the winning team. Yeah. You hate being on the losing team. But I think the one thing you have to consider with Battlefield, or at least that I've experienced, is that even if I lose, personally, I still have a good time most of the time. If you're not having fun at all, then I 100% recommend that you leave the game. And this is something I've always said in any game, Call of Duty, Battlefield, even Warzone. There is no penalty for leaving the game. If you are not having a good time, just leave the game. That gives them data as well, as opposed to playing the entire game out whilst you're absolutely hating it and then being completely demoralized. And it's like, if you don't leave the game and you feel like the game is so unfair, then they basically get no data, and that's that. And like, I think there's this like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's this like idea that if you rage quit from a casual game, that it's somehow a bad thing. But no, just leave the game. If you're genuinely not having fun, just leave the game. That's the best thing you can do. What would I change about the game? I mean, what can I feasibly change, or what would I change completely? I don't know. The thing that I would change about the game is extremely controversial, and that is I wouldn't have a sweet spot, and I would go back to sniper rifles being only headshots at long range and being different levels of a close range one shot. That's genuinely what I would change, personally. I think that sweet spot sniping is actually very RNG. It doesn't actually mean... It's annoying that you just happen to be in the sweet spot range and they shoot you in the chest and you die. Personally, that's something I would change. But listen, I'll take the sweet spot if they're going to give it to me. It means that I can't play at close range, though. Ever. Especially with the pistols being this bad. Why would a sniper do less damage the closer you get? Because that's how they've done it. Everyone's spotted all the time. Looking at someone shouldn't spot them. Only the recon gets that, though. Only the recon class. Yeah, personally, I like the fact that snipers at long range have to hit you in the head to kill you. As opposed to just, oh, I was in sweet spot range, I got the chest shot. Sick. But yeah, the sweet spot, I think, is a little bit like, it just makes it feel more RNG than it needs to be. But but that's the thing, maybe they'll have a mix. Maybe they'll have a gun that has no sweet spot, but does one shot up close. Who knows? Which would make it even stronger, because I could just pick between them. But we'll see how it goes. They need to fix the ammo bag. If you run out or throw a new one, it resets the progress. Oh, I have a really good one. This is something that really frustrated me. If regaining ammo over time, if supply bag disappears, don't reset progress. Dude, how many times? Like, it takes ages to get back your missiles on engineer or on the grenade launchers or grenades. The number of times I would be waiting on the ammo box for 10 seconds straight, or like 15 seconds straight, and then they throw it somewhere else, and you would lose all that progress instantly. And then you'd run over to the bag again, wait 15 seconds, you'd get to the last second, they'd throw it again, and you'd be like, dude, what? How? That makes no sense. It already takes so long for me to get new ammo. At least make it so that I can get it back a little bit quicker later. Or have it so that there's like a cooldown, like the bar is filling up from you being on the ammo bag, and then the ammo bag disappears. and it just slowly starts decreasing again, as opposed to just going, and it's gone. You weren't even close to grabbing it. It's just like, oh, dude, what the hell? Make it ammo boxes from COD. So you see, they are trying to slow down how much people can spam grenades and stuff. You can still do it. It just takes way longer, right? So what happens at the moment, or what happened in previous games is, walk up to ammo box, instant grenade, instant rocket, fire rocket. Walk up to another ammo box, instant grenade, instant rocket, throw a grenade, rocket. Walk up to another ammo box, instant grenade, instant rocket. I do like the fact that they've slowed that element down. It's just that it might be a little bit too far. The fact that you basically have to wait that long and then you get cancelled straight away. The bad thing is that you can't choose what maps you play. So matchmaking is never going away. 100%. They're not going to get rid of this matchmaking. And if they do, then they're going to have to deal with other problems, which is like, streamers and getting streams like or whatever. Who cares? Right. The only thing is, I wish I could veto a map or a mode. Or I could veto a couple of maps and just say, I do not want to play that map. Do not put me on that map. Right? I wish I could just veto one or... Here you go. Here's the bug I was talking about, by the way. I wish I could just say, like, a limited filter. Because basically, if everyone had a filter, though, it would break the matchmaking. You have to understand that. It would break the matchmaking if you allowed everyone to have a filter. And that's why they don't want to do that. But if I was just allowed to say, don't join me on that server, or don't join me on that map, please. That's what because there's certain maps that I absolutely just find abhorrent and I don't want to play. And I just wish I could, do not put me in that map, especially if I've just played it. And that was a problem that we had in 2042 as well. I know streamers are awful and terrible, but it does make sense sometimes. Like, for instance, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about someone like Shroud or Tim the Tatman, right? Wherever you have 10 times the audience. If we didn't have matchmaking, Shroud would find it very difficult to play the game, which is exactly what's happened in the past, which is exactly what I took straight to the developers and the people 6 years ago with the evidence and said, this is what happens if you don't have a streamer mode. Who gives a damn? Because, fine. It's, sure. You can hate streamers. I'm just saying that there is certainly some times where it's like anyone can get harassed in the game. And there just needs to be some tools to maybe help some people in certain scenarios avoid other people. That's it. Don't even talk about streamers. Just forget the streamer part. The point is there just needs to be options. I'm open to the fact that there could be a server browser and a matchmaker at the same time. For instance, in Battlefield 1, the operations mode had matchmaking and every other mode was server browsers, right? That worked because it meant that if I wanted to avoid people sniping me, I would then go and play on operations only, which was only matchmaking. Whereas all of the other modes were in a server browser. So they could definitely do it. They could say, hey, here's what's in the server browser today, Conquest and Breakthrough. But these modes are for the streamers. Fuck them. And a big middle finger, and they could do that. So they could definitely have it so you could have both systems running in tandem, right? And that's exactly what they did in BF1, where they had matchmaking for one game mode, and then they had a server browser for everything else. They could definitely do that. And they have said, by the way, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have said that they might try that. They have said that they might try that. What do you think about the tank's toughness? If two engineer repair the tank, it's nearly unkillable. That's what I said. I think there needs to be a maximum heal amount when multiple people are healing the same vehicle. Yeah. Most streamers won't keep playing this, no. They need more content. Yeah, I mean, yeah. This is what I'm saying. We're trying to find a middle ground where they don't need to adhere to the needs of streamers, because at the end of the day, the streamers are the 0.1%. Who cares? It's fine. They can find ways of doing both, though. Yeah. Is Battlelog coming out? Probably not. I'd love a server browser. There was a server in BF4. So guys, so this is what you have to understand. The community servers are going to be on Portal anyway. So you're going to be able to make a community server like you could on 2042, and you'll be able to team stack and do all the things that you used to be able to do. Maybe there'll be some limitations to what you can do anyway. But yeah. Have you seen the cheating versus aim training shitstorm on Twitter? Yeah, I've seen that. I actually am in the camp to say that they might not be cheating. Unfortunately, you know, some people have gone to the point of extreme lengths to try and just get their snappy aim, and then they just only show the clips that make them look like they're cheating. But I'll need to see more evidence. You can't request streamers 0.1% quality of life changes, but discount other people's 1% of quality changes like the pilot stick support. Now, this is where business comes in and money. At the end of the day, making them have stick support doesn't really get them any good feedback, but supporting streamers would possibly get them free marketing for the game. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I don't defend that. It's just how it works. That's sometimes how it works. But don't get me wrong, it's annoying. It sucks. If I was not a streamer, I'd be like, this fucking sucks. Why are we giving people special treatment? And they haven't, by the way. In certain games, streamers do get special treatment in that, obviously, yes, we get to play the game earlier, but for some people, like, you literally get streamer mode only if you're a special streamer on Call of Duty, right? Whereas in this game, anyone can use anonymous mode and anyone can use streamer mode. Which is what I was pushing for, by the way, just in case. Anyone can use the features that the streamers can use. There is no kind of like, oh, like even stream mode people say, oh, streamers get easier lobbies because Call of Duty has given them special accounts that unlock their accounts and stuff like that. Like, it's not true, but they do get, they in some cases get special treatment, but they don't get in this game, apart from obviously going to events. Understandable. Obsidian Unk, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. Anyone being able to use that mode is a good step. That's the way it should be, because you shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. No one should have to deal with harassment at any level. So yeah. Thank you. Anyway, the point is that specifically was something that I was pushing for ages ago, but, you know, is it relevant now? Who knows? Do you think classes should only get their passive effects when using their signature weapons? That would make the classes even more like, oh, well, they have this vision about, like, the classes just being, oh my god, what was that? What is that? I wonder what causes this. It might be something to do with the destruction of the building. And it's like, it's showing me things from the building that haven't properly despawned after it was destroyed. Because I'm walking through the wall of a destroyed building. And then it just disappears. At that exact moment. Like the floor above me. Yeah, something like that. You get the flickering glitch too? Yeah. Do you think 9 maps at launch is enough? It's historically been what they've done in the past. Like, I'm pretty sure Battlefield 4 released with 10 maps, I think. I'm not 100%. Battlefield 1, I think, released with 9 maps. So, historically, it's worked in the past. By the way. Yeah, we got caught. We were one of the 300,000. 9 maps is fine, considering Portal will let the community design their own maps. Yes, but that's going to take a while. So one thing I am concerned about is every single Battlefield game that's released in the last 10 years has a horrific time releasing post-launch content. So Battlefield 1, 6 months before we got any new maps. Battlefield 5, I think, was 3 months until we got a map that was half finished and basically was just a tank map with nothing on it. Battlefield 2042, 6 months before we got the first new map. So that's one of my biggest concerns is like, yeah, you know, we love playing the game on the same maps for a couple of months, but like it wears off real quick after a while. So it's kind of like, and also you have to remember that before Battlefield 1, or even during Battlefield 1, it was premium content that you paid for, so that they justified pushing out content because it was monetized. This game, I don't think, is going to have premium expansions. So the what's it called? The what's the word I'm looking for? The reason why they would want to make new maps is not really there. So if the game obviously didn't do well at launch, then it's going to take them even longer. It's going to be like, well, let's focus on fixing the game first, basically. They're going with the Battle Pass system. Yeah, I think so. But allegedly, we'll have a Battle Royale within 2 months. So there's definitely something that's going to take up that space. And you're going to have more Portal stuff, hopefully. No incentive, precisely. And you have to understand that at the end of the day, these are companies that need to make money. And please, shareholders, at the end of the day, that is literally what they have to do. Like, the game has to be good, has to be popular, and it has to make money. Otherwise, it's just not worth it for them to keep it going. Now you're just flat out lying. What am I lying about? I think someone's talking about something that happened earlier. Almost a deal breaker for you. Do you know if you can choose not to play as a woman at launch? I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm not really bothered about that element. And they've definitely toned down the characters having any impact on, like, the style or person or character you're playing has really any impact. I don't really notice any of that stuff. I'm not really focusing on it. I don't know if you can change the character that you're playing based on class. In fact, maybe there's even an option to turn off all the voice lines in the game. I don't know. You're ridiculous in being a crybaby about rockets. I mean, I used the rockets to very good effect, and they were pretty easy to use. And I liked the fact that you could still use them on infantry, but I didn't like them being one-shots easily against infantry if it was AoE. I don't really understand. Not me? Oh, is someone else talking about it? Do you think shotguns are overpowered? They are doing better than they should be outside of the ranges that they should be effective. Yeah? That's what I would say. I would say that shotguns at the moment do more than I would expect for how good they are at that certain range. Have I spoken about bullet penetration? I'll say, so here's a weird part. This is something I don't understand. There are rounds, like they're on multiple guns, where bullet penetration is a feature of using the bullet. But then I never found situations where the bullet would do any different damage based on what it was going through or what I was destroying. So I was like, what do you mean this does more penetration damage? On what? So that would happen, like, I guess we'll make a note of that. What does penetration damage even do? I genuinely don't know what it changed. I was shooting through things and doing the same amount of damage anyway, so it doesn't make sense that there's bullet penetration. And then something else, and this is something I forgot to bring up. Character perks / abilities are barely noticeable when active. So I don't know if you guys had this, where you would get your UAV. The UAV one is actually the most obvious because you can see it physically on the minimap. When I used the mobile supply ability, when I used the adrenaline syringe on the assault class, I would do it, and I'd be like, wait, is it working? Oh, it's done. And you'd just be like, what's happening? Why is there not like a really obvious thing on my screen to say that it was doing anything? It didn't make enough of a difference for me to even notice that it was working. And also when you actually get them, I didn't know that they were even available. So I would never notice that I got the UAV. I would never notice that I had the overcharge. Like for instance, the engineer one, for instance, that one you go, oh, you actually do a physical animation, and now I know that and it's got a big red hot thing, and it was really obvious that I was going to heal more. Whereas you use the syringe on the assault class, and you would get a slight edge on the screen with an overlay, and you'd be like, but what is it actually doing? Like, I'm not getting more health. I'm not hearing more footsteps. I guess I'm maybe taking more damage for 3 seconds, but yeah, it was really weird. You can't rebind it from 6. It wasn't necessarily an issue with it being on 6. I just wouldn't even notice that they were there. I would just forget that was even in the game. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot I have this ability. I should probably use that. We're talking over footage, Trappin', yeah. Yeah, we're milking it. Yeah. I was like, oh, I could go live with some Battlefield 1 today, just as a little stopgap between the days. And I was like, screw it. I wanted to make a video eventually on the feedback of the game. So the best way to do that is to basically gather everyone's footage or thoughts and then put it into one place. Yeah, I've already we already talked about that one, I think. Someone was yelling in chat at pre-recorded footage whilst waiting for their drops. Well, first of all, there's no drops, just in case you're worried. Second of all, drops are back on Thursday though. The syringe on the assault is not the ability on 6. No, it's 2 different syringes, guys. The syringe, you get the normal syringe on your X ability down here, and then you get another syringe on 6, and they both look identical. And neither of them ever felt like I did anything differently. It was basically like a placebo, in my opinion. I was never like, wow, that made such a big difference in that fight. I basically never used the syringe because it just didn't do anything. Wait, are there drops right now? You're earning drops right now? I don't think the drops are on, no? Makes you immune to flash grenades. Guys, do you want to know how many times I got flashed in Battlefield 6 across 30 hours? I'm going to say a grand total of 4 times, if my memory serves me correctly. So it's like, no one's really using flash grenades because they're a bit too... Especially on a game with this many players. There's no way... Like... So this is the problem with using flashbangs on a game with lots of players. I throw a flash, I get hit markers. There could be 8 people in that room, and 3 of them have just run in. There's no way. There's no way I'm pushing that corner, even if I get the hit markers, because I just know that the likelihood that I've actually flashed everyone in that room is very low. So I don't think a lot of people are going to be using flashes and stuff like that. So yeah, the argument is that no one uses flashes, and that effect. I guess the reduction in explosive damage is good, but it's only for 3 seconds. Like, I feel like the explosive damage reduction should be 10 seconds, and that would make it worth it because I'm going to run into an area where there's going to be lots of people. 3 seconds is genuinely not enough for somebody even to notice that I'm there and then shoot a rocket at me. It will be worn off by the time that it's actually useful. You know? Oh, I guess we do have drops. I guess. Guys, if you're getting drops, press 1. It can only be helpful in team deathmatch, I guess. Bouncing aim on rubble and stuff? Yeah, I saw that. Mounting your gun didn't give you recoil? I think it did. Oh, people are getting dropped. All right. Well, I mean, listen, I'm all for farming drops. I mean, if you're getting drops, then we'll put it in the title. Why not? I'll do drops question mark just to. That's not bloom. Okay, explain. Spread and bloom in my. What are my thoughts on all the climbing on the roofs? Well, they need to change that. They need to change that. The climbing on the roofs in Cairo is cool, but if everyone on the server knows about it, everyone's just going to be on the roofs, and then people stop playing the game. It's fun, right? It is fun, but it does ruin people playing the game. What do you think about the spawn beacon change? It's just going to make recon essentially useless, in my opinion. Oh, people who already have progress can earn. Right, I see. So if you guys were already getting progress on the drops, then you can get them now. Watch some Metaphor gameplay. He's been popping off with BF6. Oh, I imagine he is, yeah. I imagine a lot of the Call of Duty guys are playing really well on Battlefield 6. Make the roofs collapse with explosives. Problem solved. Yeah, but the problem is that they're not designed. The roofs haven't been designed to be explosive, and to redesign the entire roof structure of Cairo to be destructible is a way bigger job than what they have time for. Could you imagine the roof situation on Amiens? Yeah. What's the spawn beacon change? They're moving the spawn beacon from recon to assault. I don't know if they're doing it in this beta. I thought they would have. I thought they announced it and they were doing that, but they're moving the spawn beacon from recon to assault. Which means that recon, genuinely, in my opinion, is going to be not worth playing. I don't see the point. What does recon get? Nothing. They're getting nothing. You see what I mean? This is the problem. What are they replacing with? Nothing. It's hopeless. Oh, this was a map where we were just getting slammed, I think. I'm pretty sure they'll replace it with something useful. No. They've already said. Otherwise, they would have said that. Will there be AI to fill lobbies? Only in areas of the world where you literally cannot fill a lobby will they have AI in the servers, as is what they've said. Why do they act like you can't put a carbine on recon and PTFO? But that's what I'm saying. Why would you do that now when you don't have the spawn beacon? I think you maybe have the same thought as I do. Which is exactly what... By the way, Lackey, Tactical Brit, literally only used the recon class. And he did exactly what you said. He used the recon class for the spawn beacon. And then he would go on crazy streaks because he'd be constantly flanking. Now, he's just going to play Assault and have even better odds with better weapons and have the spawn beacon. Also, I don't know why they're changing the spawn beacon so it's got limited spawns. All they need to do is make it so the spawn beacon actually makes a sound so you can find it. Because right now, finding a spawn beacon is impossible. You just have to see where they've spawned, and that's the only way you know where the spawn beacon is. And they can hide it so well, but it doesn't make a sound, so you can't find it. So I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't make a sound with the spawn beacon, because it definitely should make a sound. How can you find the sweet spot on snipers on BF6? Is there a graph? There used to be a graph, I think, in BF1, but they don't have it in BF6. You just have to just know. I think if I'm not mistaken, the sweet spot range of this sniper was 80 to 110 meters, if I had to guess. Maybe more than that. The spawn beacon makes a sound and flashes red. I never heard the spawn beacon make a sound in this game, but it should. Are you saying that's what it should do? It does make a sound? I never heard it. But that's the thing. You have to remember that the recon, we don't have motion balls yet. The motion and the motion sensor, I've said this a few times, absolute trash. The motion sensor in this game, putting it down was annoying. I honestly don't, and this is what I don't understand about the motion sensor in this game. Why isn't it a throwable at this point? Like not a long range throwable like a grenade. I just want to be able to just chuck it down without having to walk up to it. Like you end up with, when you're putting the motion sensor down. The spawn beacon I understand because it needs to be in a spot that you can actually spawn. So it has to make sure every time you're putting it down, it has to make sure that there's enough space for someone to spawn. But with the motion sensor, you're going. I've accidentally walked into the box. And you're dead. And you've been shot like 3 times. You respawn, you're trying to put it down. You should just be able to go, right, motion sensor, done. If it's going to be like that bad. Like, I don't understand why it's a placeable. It doesn't need to be a placeable. You might as well just be something you just throw. Putting the sensor down was annoying, but I thought it was good. I'll show you in a second if I get a close quarters thing of me using the spawn beacon, but I don't think I do. I need someone else to put down a spawn beacon, and maybe we can see it, and we can see the range. Can I see the range of someone else's spawn beacon? No, you can only see the range of your own spawn beacon. The range of the spawn beacon, and I remember how big it was. If I go into the tools. We go into the effects and filters, and we go into the video effects and geometry and interactive zoom, and go into the mini map. You can see this spawn beacon here. Is there a way to draw with a pen on Windows? I can't remember, or do I have to take it into? I guess I can just do it this way and take it into Paint. I think there is a way, but okay. So look, here you go. So I'm gonna give you the maximum range of the spawn beacon. Maybe put it in red so that you can see it. Maybe green. This was the range of the spawn beacon. So you can see the spawn beacon on the screen here. That was right. Maybe even, in fact, I think it was smaller than that. I'm gonna say it was like that. Maybe slightly bigger than that. That's like 15-meter range. You mean the tugs? No. It's called the motion sensor. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the motion sensor. Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that the range of the motion sensor was terrible. Yeah, sorry, I probably said spawn beacon. I mean the motion sensor. The range of the motion sensor was absolutely terrible. So if you're in the middle of the screen, that's how big it was. It was so bad. Basically, not worth taking at all. Bad. Awful. And also, it only worked when the enemies are moving. So, constantly, you would have this issue where it wouldn't even show half the people that were actually in the range of it because they weren't moving when the pulse happened. Oh, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare to use. I hated it. Completely useless, in my opinion. Most of the time. Unreliable. Small radius. Just everything that was wrong with it, and it felt like it was worse than we've had before. Maybe it was the same, I don't know, but it just didn't feel like it worked at all. In my opinion, I just found it completely useless compared to something like the flares from Battlefield 105, which were basically insane and completely broken, especially BF1. I wish you could call in smoke barrages. I wouldn't mind smoke barrages. Artillery's a bit annoying. Anyone else have pistols killing you in 0.5 seconds? Basically never, no. Am I worried about mortars? Yes. I haven't even brought up that yet. You guys know that there's going to be a mortar gadget on the support class, right? I don't think the support class should get the mortar. I think that the recon should have the mortar class because it actually makes sense because they're the ones that aren't in the front line. What about recon getting mortars or an airstrike? Yeah, no, I genuinely agree. I genuinely think if the recons are going to be sitting at the back of the map, they're the ones that should get the mortar, not the medics who are going to be at the front or should be at the front doing their job. It doesn't make sense that a guy is just going to sit in spawn with a mortar and not do the job of medicing when the recon is going to be sitting back and is the one that knows where the enemies are, and it would make the most sense with a UAV to see where the enemies are. It doesn't make sense. They're the ones that are going to be camping anyway. They'll have a spotting drone. Well, great. It still feels like there's not enough. What about the idea that suppression turns off sweet spot? It's too hard to read. The sweet spot's already like an RNG random mechanic. Will the recon have the laser designator? They will, which will be useful for team play, but I don't see a lot of randoms taking the laser designator, to be honest. How can EA enforce medics do their job? Well, first of all, showing revives and heals on the scoreboard would be a big help. But also, in my opinion, and I've always had this opinion, kills, if I have more revives than kills on someone, I don't understand why I don't get more points than someone who's got more revives than kills. Because I'm pretty sure they're the same amount. I've never understood why they don't promote massive points for reviving to encourage people to do it, as opposed to just farming kills and then putting the people with the most kills at the top. Like, even if it's like cheesy, even if it's like, oh, you can just cheese experience by doing revives, why is that a problem? And then they don't give you that many points for reviving because I think they consider it like a if you can just get to, because it's only 50 points for a revive and I think it's 100 points for a kill, no? It's a weird one. I don't know why they've never like made it so that playing objective, which I think you do get a lot of points for playing objective now. I think it's like if you do a full cap on an objective, you get 1,000 points. Whereas obviously a kill is only 100. But like I never understood why like resupplying is like 40 points per when you resupply someone, and that doesn't happen that often. And it's just like, well, it doesn't feel tangible at all. Getting 40 points, it's like, who cares? Charge your defib and you get 100 revive. Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure I charged my revive and still only got 50 sometimes. For someone without access to the alpha, I mean, everyone has access on Thursday, by the way, in case you didn't know. You had a breakthrough game where NG got top points for 100% healing the tank. That's good. Yeah, it's a weird one. Ooh. Have they said if the beta is going to be a new build or the same? I hope that there's a new build, or I hope that they've made changes. I doubt it's going to be different, though. Like, I definitely want them to fix some of the stuff that they could fix by... Like, because obviously there's bugs that would require dev time. Yeah, it's the same. There's some bugs that would require dev time, but there's definitely some stuff that they could just change in a spreadsheet, and it would fix it. Like, shotgun damage. You could literally just change it server-side and just say, shotguns have more spread. And they definitely wouldn't need to, like... They don't need to do anything. I'm pretty sure that could be literally adjusted on a spreadsheet by just changing a value. So I don't know why they don't do that. It's the same thing with the M4A1, for instance. The M4A1 carbine is insane. Like, completely the best gun in the game. And Cairo, yeah, is going to be... No, Cairo's not unplayable, but now everyone knows about getting on the roofs of Cairo. So more people just going to end up camping on the roofs, which is, yeah. And they could... And that does require dev time because someone has to go into the map and just find all those TikToks, which, again, it seems easy, but it probably is a lot of work because it could break something else if they change a map and everyone has to re-download that map with literally millions of people have to re-download the update, wherever. If the update's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if they just changed all of the areas where people were able to get on the roofs, you know, or just a blocking volume at the roof height, because no one should ever be up there. Boring, I know, but you just add an invisible wall across the entire map at that height, and then GG. Fixed. Solved. A very messy solution, but it would work. Do you think hipfire needs nerfing? No, I mean, hipfire's always been really good on Battlefield. If you didn't know, it's always been really good. Way better than Call of Duty, funnily enough. I mean, the hipfire on SMGs is basically 100% accurate if you play engineer. But yeah, they could definitely do that. They could definitely do that. Yeah, they're not going to nerf hipfire, I don't think. Crocs on tops. Hipfire feels shit in COD. It's decent. Like, hipfire is actually decent in COD. But it spreads really quickly. People who don't like smaller maps are not going to like the new map in the beta. I think the new map in the beta might be one of the most infantry-focused maps in a video game ever. So they're going to have to look. They're going to have to look forward to that. Have they said anything about changes to the menu at all? No. That's probably not going to change. Why does this battlefield feel so much faster than previous titles? Because the recoil is lower, the netcode is better, and well, that's it. And so basically, in my eyes, they basically improved recoil. They've improved recoil over previous games. It's true. The hit reg is actually better because you're used to games only having 30 hertz or whatever. Especially if you come from a game like Warzone. Maybe not Battlefield 4, but like games like Warzone. 2042, by the way, was 40 hertz, not 60. So basically, the guns are actually hitting more shots, and they're easier to use. And the maps are all small. Yeah, so everything feels close range and fast. So far, BF6 doesn't seem to have the exploits or glitches a COD game would have. Well, there's already a roof glitch. I would say they have about the same. They need a search function for the settings menus. I've already written that down. Map design is amazing. If you like small maps, yes. Maybe you should make a tier list of every FPS game you've played. Well, I mean, yeah, I could do that. If we run out of content later on, which we will. Later on, after the Battlefield beta closes, we're gonna view. Oh my goodness, we're gonna be skimming the rim of content. Have you talked about 100% CPU system usage? I haven't had that issue personally. On AMD, the parachute in BF6 is weird. Already used that. I've already talked about how the parachute has a weird. It's worse than a COD parachute, and that's saying something. Lord Drauga, thank you very much for the Prime. Baux, thank you for the Prime. Obsidian, thank you. And thank you, Yowie, for the Super Chat, and Josh for the Super Chat as well. My AMD was chilling. Yeah, my CPU was doing pretty good. Westy, what was? Did anyone remember what Westy's issue was? Because his PC was he's on Intel, and his PC was struggling big time. With something. I think his PC was like overheating or something. Kappa or Quappa, thank you very much for the Prime. You haven't talked about health regen. Yeah, I think health regen is a bit crazy, especially compared to other Battlefield games. But that's specifically because I'm using a class that's built for health regen at the moment. Feels ignored, man. Right. What have you said? That study. I think BF6 and Arc Raiders are around the same launch window. Which would you play more? I would... Well, I'm obviously going to play Battlefield more. I find it frustrating. So if you guys didn't know that Arc Raiders yesterday on Twitter have announced that they're not doing a playtest before October 30th. I mean, we've tried. Genuinely. I'm just like, guys, why are you not doing a playtest? Like, that's not a good sign? No, I think the game was already insane when they brought out the playtest like 3 months ago. But I just don't know why they won't do a playtest. It's so weird. It's like they had a really super limited closed playtest, but still allowed everyone to stream it. And then they were like, nah, we don't need to do another playtest. You guys can just wait 6 months till the next one. It's just like, sure, man. Yeah, okay. You guys are the. Oh yeah, this was insane. I forgot about this one. This was a 7-person grenade launcher, I think. So look, first kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it was 5 kills. I don't know why I said 6 or 7. 5 kills. You missed the verticality. It's good that there's not verticality on the small maps. Someone else brought that up as well. If you have too much verticality on the small maps, then you never know where to look. And like 2042, you can just be shot from 360 degrees. At least this game is I think, maximum second floor. And then you know, right, I need to check this angle, this angle, this angle. Okay. But the point is, these maps are the small maps where they're trying to stop you from going to certain areas. But there will be maps, like the bigger maps, where you will be able to get on the roofs and shit. You know? What's my thoughts on the recon class having C4? They need it. They've got nothing else going for them. Are pistols too weak in general? Yes. I think they do. I think the pistol does 20 damage a hit anyway. The pistol does 20 damage a hit anyway. But if you only hit them for 60, that means you need to hit them twice. And then you're switching to the pistol, and that takes time. And by that point, you're already dead. They desperately need to speed up the pistol switching, or make it so that the recon class specifically has a crazy weapon switch. Because you're using recon, and you have to use pistols. And do you know what's funny? The assault class is the class that gets the quick weapon switching, not the recon class. So switching to an assault rifle was faster than switching to a pistol on the assault class. Like, they got everything going for them. And now they're going to get the spawn beacon. So, crazy. If recon can't be auto-spotted, I'd be recon for that alone. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do to recon to make it a stronger class. Right now, it's the least picked, and it's going to be even less picked when they change it. Should snipers have more damage in close range? Probably, yes. I think that if I hit someone at close range with a sniper rifle, I should do minimum 80 damage and then have to hit them once with the pistol to finish them off. Right now, you're dead whilst you pull the pistol out anyway. So I don't even get a chance to pull my pistol out, let alone use it. I would tell EA DICE not to launch in October. Well, from this beta, though. So this is something we obviously talked about a lot about the negatives, which is great, because that's the thing that they need to focus on. This beta is still extremely good for a beta. And I don't think people can really refute that. This beta was really good. I mean, if you guys watched Battlefield 2042 gameplay, it was like white box gameplay almost. It was barely even alpha. Like this game, if they released like this, it wouldn't even be like oh shit, this is actually not ready. Like they could have. The game feels good. It doesn't have the features that people want, like the balance and the guns and how they've changed the classes. That's the thing that I think people are annoyed about. It's not actually the actual performance of the beta at all. It's all about what they've done to the classes and the guns and that's what people are annoyed about. Can you explain how tick rate works, please? So imagine a server has 60 hertz, right? Which helps because actually, does it help? I guess it helps because it's you can imagine it like frame rate. So 60 hertz, which means every second there is 60 things that can happen in the game that the server will register. Right? So if you've got 60 hertz, there is 60 different ticks between that in that second where the server will register an action. Right? If you have 10 hertz, right, only one action can be registered on the server in 100 milliseconds. Think about it that way. So only 10 things or 10 like... Oh, obviously more than one thing can happen on a tick, right? I'm not trying to say it's one thing, but essentially, yeah, there's 10 updates to the server. So every 100 milliseconds at 10 hertz, which I believe, I can't remember if Battlefield 3 started at 10 hertz. That's why you got shot around the corners so bad. Right? But at 60 hertz, one thing can happen every, so it would be every 100 milliseconds divided by 6. Every 20 milliseconds or every 15 milliseconds, something can happen. And it will register it. That's how it works. Every 16 milliseconds, there's an update. There you go. And that's how it works. It kind of like, that makes the game feel smoother. But you also have to remember that one of the reasons why, because then people are going to say, well, why don't you just make every server 500 hertz? And then every action would be updated every 0.1 milliseconds. And it's because the higher the hertz of the server, the more expensive it is to run it. And for instance, it's not a direct like comparison, but you could run one server at 120 hertz, or two servers at 60 hertz, or three servers at 40 hertz with the same number of players. So that's when you start to see the cost effectiveness coming in, right? Is if you have less servers with higher hertz, then it's less profitable because you then have to spend more money on higher tick rate servers. That's why they stop having massive tick rates, because it just costs more money to run the server at higher hertz. There you go. EA's cheaping out, but that's the thing, they're not cheaping out because Call of Duty is like what, 40 hertz, 20 to 40 hertz on Warzone, and I think they are 60 hertz on their multiplayer servers 5v5. But you have to remember Battlefield's like 64 players. So thoughts on class balance? Feels like support has too many gadgets to juggle. Most will be ignored. Assault Lone Wolf is 10x'd by loss of medics defibs. Why didn't I take that guy down? I think it's because I was running away and I knew I'd get shot in the back. No game sound? Well, I mean, you don't need... Wait, it's just a replay. Shotgun distance reach for hitting enemies seems way off. It should be close range over. Yeah, precisely. I mean, there you go. That's a prime example. How far away? Like, I'm going to say this guy is 20 meters away. Roughly. Maybe 17, 20 meters. Boom. Dead. I know that was a headshot, but I think I'd still one-shot him anyway. You think that's 10 meters? Maybe. I'm using a slug? That's where you're wrong. I'm not using a slug. The slug had even more range. Any opinion on DMR headshot damage? Well, it can't be too good. 64 maximum damage, though, is a bit rough. I feel like it should be like 80. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you try the DMR? Like, loads of people were saying that the DMR was like cheeks, but if you use it with an ACOG on the big map and then just counter snipe snipers and then you just peek them real quick before they can even react, That shit banged. It was so good. It was the recoil was like, I think a lot of people though didn't like it because the recoil was like very unmanageable. So I imagine on controller it was probably like unusable, but on mouse and key, like it went absolutely crazy, but only over mid range. So using it at close range was kind of like rough as fuck. But when you were like tapping snipers at range, it was crazy good. I really liked it. Was the DMR worse class than the Beta? I would actually argue, and this is going to annoy people, I think the SMGs were actually the weakest because the M4 was so good. So the LMGs had stopping power because they could just keep shooting and they were essentially acted like ARs. The assault rifles were just good at all round. The DMR, that two-shot DMR was sick at medium to long range. The sniper was insane at long range. But then SMGs were outshot by the carbines, especially the M4. Like, in every way. 4 shots with the M4 at close range at 900 RPM would still beat the MP7 hipfire every single time. And the 417 as well was basically the M4 with less bullets. And could it 3-shot? I couldn't remember if the M417 could 3-shot sometimes as well for some reason. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw it do 36 damage though. Maybe that was headshots. I don't know. But yeah, basically M4A1, and as you'll see in the Beta, go and use the M4A1. It's the best gun in the game. You can use it at long range. You can use it at close range. You can use it as a secondary and assault. Absolutely insane. Beats everything in my opinion. Oh, that was a crazy one. 37 round mag as well. Fast reload, great hip fire, low recoil. Madness. You think the M4A1 needs a nerf? Yes. Do damage. I don't think it should ever 4-shot ever. The 4-shot was like, well, it was 230 milliseconds 4-shot at close range. The M4A1 slaps? Yeah. 900 RPM on the M4A1. Crazy. But I also use the M417 as well. I use both. The only gun that I didn't use much was the L1110 LMG and the first SMG. Because I used the MP7. The MP7 was fun though. Like the thing I liked about the MP7 SMG was that it was basically 0 recoil over range. So you could beam someone if they were standing still at like 80 meters. And it felt good to just like, it was low damage, but it felt good to do. Whereas the SVX, or whatever it was called, the Honey Badger? I don't know what it was. The first SMG, I feel like, just got outclassed in every way by the M4. Gun suppression needs to be buffed. What do you mean by that? All 3 carbine? No. Now, you see, this is where I disagree. I think the AK-205 was personally trash. I didn't see... Even though it had 0 recoil, like the MP7, the damage was insanely low. Like, you'd have to hit them like 11 times at range. And like, the M4 was a 5 or 6 shot at any range, max range. It was good with the 2.1 headshot ammo. I didn't unlock that. That's maybe what I was doing wrong. I wasn't... Yeah, it's the CS loadout. I didn't think about that. Only thing going good was the flat recoil on Type Bloom. Yeah. No, it was like I think the AK genuinely had the least amount of recoil in the entire game. It was with no attachments. So I was just like, okay. But then I would have these situations where I would like absolutely beam someone at close range and they'd still survive and then just turn the corner and instantly kill me. NVO was busted. 3 round kill. I think that was 36 damage as well. Oh, that was a good game. That was the shotgun round where I just basically got annoyed and probably used the shotgun. That was that. Right. Well, we'll do a little. Oh god, I've actually got quite a lot of things. Right, here's what we have so far. As for the feedback. So if you can read this, read this. Ready? So this is. Can you guys read this? If you're on mobile, you're probably cooked. Sorry. These are like everything that I've written down, and nothing controller related. You can't read. Yeah, never mind. Anything to do with controllers, I'm probably not going to write down. That's Slacky's business. Do you think COD is done because of Battlefield 6? It will probably outsell Battlefield 6 for no reason, even though, you know, just because it does. This is what we got so far. Request squad orders. I didn't know that wasn't on there. What, auto spotting on recon too easy? I can agree with that. But honestly, recons need all the help they can get, if I'm honest. Yeah, I've added setting search function. I've added the stun lock from vehicles and from the launcher on the grenade launcher. What do you think about enemies having a red dot over their heads when you look in their direction? That's actually been in the game for a long time, if you didn't realize. That's been in Battlefield 4. That's been in Battlefield 1. They've always had health bars and shit over people's heads for the longest time. You probably just didn't realize. Fire damage from fire on the ground is too much. Grenades should be cooked longer. No, I kind of agree. The grenade animation might be a little too fast. Grenade animation a little too fast. The fact that you can just do it mid-fight whilst you're shooting is kind of crazy. Get rid of the glowing around grenades. I quite like that. It feels good. Do you... Oh, God. You know what I actually really hate? Being able to spot players whilst dead. Too OP. I don't know if you knew that. Why? Like, you're literally on the ground like this, and you look like a dead guy, but you're going like what like genuinely, what do you mean? Why are you able to do that? And then the person has no idea that they're being 3D spotted. Like, what the fuck do you mean? When you mean downed or dead? When you're downed, sorry. Whilst downed. Yeah. Unless you know what? Unless they added a mechanic where you could see the player spotting you and you could shoot them so that they're still revivable, but they couldn't spot you anymore. Like, it took away their camera. That would be cool. So that if you want them to spotting, you literally just do one more tap into the body to stop them spotting you. That would be cool. But I don't know. The thing is, the fact that you can talk on Discord or talk in your squad and be like, "Oh, he's on my body," that still doesn't give them the exact position of the enemy like you can right now. Right? You could talk on comms and you could talk, because that would be like, "Oh, I'm on the floor, I'm dying, but there's a guy right near me." Jack Frag says, needs more anime skins, add omni movement, remove vehicles, SBMM should be stronger, rotational aim assist too weak, and small maps only. W Jack. You know what? Forget all this. Nicki Minaj. Thoughts? W Jack, man. Big. You know what? He's just so right. I'm all for anything against spotting. Exactly. SPMM shouldn't be stronger. No. To be honest, the matchmaking is good so far. Like, so one thing I noticed that you guys might have noticed. Sorry, I've just realized I haven't been playing the gameplay that you're all here to see. One thing I did notice was that... Oh, that's another thing. Launchers can be used way too quickly. The fact that you can get 5 and... Oh, sorry, not necessarily the RPG, but the Stinger... First of all, it doesn't make sense that you can carry 5 Stingers around. Second of all, the stinger you use in like 5 seconds. It's like use the stinger, bunk, gone, pick up another one, and it's just like it's actually too fast. Where did I put the launchers? It was here somewhere. And usable too quickly. There you go. Stinger nerf. There you go. Silk came out of the woodwork. I mean, to be fair, the fact that you could just pull out a stinger and use it within 3 seconds, one after the other, and it would one-shot. Look, ready? I'm thinking I'm going to do it now. So look, one. Oh, I didn't pull out another one. Never mind. Do I have another one? Do I have the clip of me using it twice? No. Oh yeah, here you go. Oh, it's me pulling it out for the first time, and then I didn't have a second one. Okay, forget it then. RPG velocity is a bit too fast. Yeah, it probably is. Probably like 20% slower. Like 20% slower. Do you think engineers should be locked to one launcher again? Yes. 100%. DMRs are terrible. The M14, or whatever, the MK14, I think it was. What is that one? The first one? That was bad. Because its recoil was way too high for how much damage it did. And I would argue, I would even wager that first damage, the first DMR's damage was worse than the assault rifles in terms of close range. It didn't make sense. You did the same damage at close range with that DMR that you did with the AMAX. It didn't make any sense. The first DMR felt like shit. The second DMR, look, and then I mean, that's crazy, dude. How quickly I was able to fire 2 rockets. That's nuts. Player ring lighting. What you want? You don't want it, or you do want it? I think there is something with players where you can see them from far away. I'm not sure what it is though. There's something in vehicles there's something with players where you can somehow see them clearly, even if they're in like a dark room. I don't know what it is though. It's something. What's your opinion of the glare? We've already talked about the glare. The glare's on the list. The glare, especially in Cairo, is obnoxious and horrible. It's not fun. Defibs should be immediate. No, that's too overpowered. I like that the defibs actually have a charge time. And even then, the fact that you can basically charge them up once and then revive. Have you not seen them revive like 5 people at once? Go, zzz, 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 zzz. You can still do that. And it's kind of OP. To be fair, I actually think, unfortunately, the defibs are too good at close range damage. And that might be controversial. I actually think the defibs are too good at close range. I think that you shouldn't instantly do the defib thing, or there has to be a way longer charge time between you when you kill someone with the defibs. Like, it's like insane right now. The defibs is already doing one-shot kill, yes, but what I'm saying is right now you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, okay, it's actually better than the shotgun on some of the maps. It is. Like, it's a little bit broken. I think if you get a kill with the defibs, you shouldn't be able to recharge that quickly. And you run crazy fast. Like, I'm pretty sure you run faster than sprint speed when you're using the defibs. It's a bit crazy. Maybe like an overheat when you kill someone? Yeah. Are the bindings UI on the list already? I have like searching for settings. I have the fact that it takes too long to get into a loadout. Aim bounces, throws off shots when walking over small objects. Yeah, I've already got that. Pings are almost invisible due to visual clutter. I do think that the pings are hard to see sometimes, yeah. But that's because they have opacity on them, I think. Which is a bit weird. So, like, where they are on the map, they can get covered up by smoke or, like, they can... I don't know what that is. Maybe you can turn up the opacity of the spots. Maybe that's not an issue. No option to toggle off ADS FOV. True. Why can't we've already got getting into loadouts between rounds. I don't know why you can't do that. I assume it might be an issue. Have I seen the bloom bug? Yeah, someone linked the shroud thing earlier. Defib shock should just shock stun. I don't mind that the defib's one shot. It's just that they one shot a lot and fast and multiple men at once. Have I seen the color corrected version of this map? Is it me or does this map have a blue haze on it? Because I was looking through some footage the other day. In fact, you can see it here on this rock. This is blue. Like, this is not gray or black. This is blue. If I was to color pick here, it would be like a dark cyan. And the shadows are blue. Like, that's blue. All these shadows are blue. It looks good though. Yeah, it makes it feel cold. And then in Cairo, I'm pretty sure they've got a yellow filter, so it makes things feel hot. I don't know why I'm talking to everyone like this is a nursery class, but yeah, that is how it feels. You don't like the filters? Yeah, I mean, I'm not bothered either way. I wouldn't mind not having the filters. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I wonder what happens here. So something blows up, and then it covers the entire map in like a black. Do you think this is the particle effect of the vehicle blowing up, and it's not rendering properly? But then again, the particle effect still carries on after that. So what is causing that? Weird. That barely ever happened, though. Level Cap made a vid on the color saturation. Yeah. I should probably look at that. It's a scope bug. Yeah, I've had a really weird bug where I aim down sight and it's literally you can't look through it because it's like zoomed in on a random area of the screen. Also, people didn't realize how overpowered hip fire on the DMRs was as well. And people didn't realize how insane you could get with just hip firing around corners. As long as you were, like, waiting for the shots. What do you think about players having 100% CPU usage on BF6 with top specs? Is that not the bug with people turning off the EA overlay? Voltzer, you're finally back, dude. It's been a while. Are you finally back for Battlefield? Forever? Can you play now or not? You can't play until Thursday. Did I see green lasers all over the place? Nah. By the way, thank you for the 21, dude. Are footsteps on the list? Yes. I think that footsteps need like a 20% boost. Maybe not like an insane amount, but it does sometimes feel like you only hear someone one time before you're dead in 200 milliseconds. You hear one footstep every time. Just the one. Even if they're on a wooden floor and if there's literally any other sound going on. Do you need to have the in-game overlay turned on or you'll get performance issues? I think so, genuinely, yeah. Do I know who Chaboy is? I do, yeah. The first time I met him, he stole my mouse. Or was it my monitor? He literally walked up to my desk when we were at a Battlefield event and then either stole my monitor or my mouse and just went, "That's mine, mate," and walked off. And then eventually brought it back. It was true hazing. That's good to know. Yeah, I think I don't know why it causes that, but it's a weird one. He posted a video for the first time in 3 years. What Chaboy did? Nice. Sounds like a bully. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't actually bullying. He actually was joking. He was obviously like I was obviously nervous, so I didn't really know what was going on. But he brought it back, and he was just like, "Oh, what's up?" You know. If he took it and then smashed it on the floor, then maybe it would be different.
Why did you turn that into a copy pasta? What is going on? That was pretty innocent. What's wrong with it?
But yeah, it's kind of crazy, right?
Apart from
We only allow a little bit of bullying. Did you get the audio glitch where there's essentially no in-game sound? No, I didn't get that. Is minimap positioning on the list? Yes, I think that you should be able to move where your health and your minimap is, or at least the size. I agree. Is it only the EA overlay? I don't know about the Steam overlay as well, but it was definitely... If you turn off the EA overlay, apparently it doesn't use your GPU correctly. I don't know why. It's weird, isn't it?
he did nothing wrong.
Grenade mechanics, we've already talked about that. Score between teams should be above the map. Or just the option to move it above the map. Because I'm pretty sure it's as simple as if you just clicked a button, they could just move it where it is. That wouldn't be too difficult to do.
I mean, we're still winning.
What do you think BF6 right now means for Arc Raiders? I still don't understand Embark's decision to not do a playtest for Arc Raiders. I don't get it. Because obviously, have people even played it on... Can you play it on console? Or was the playtest on console? I don't understand their decision to not do a playtest. Like, it's fine if they want to release the game on the 30th of October, and that's fine. Even though I feel like they could definitely release it earlier. I don't understand why they won't do a playtest and let other people play the game other than just streamers. It is kind of weird. Obviously, that would be great for me as well, but I'm also just saying, like, I don't really understand why they've not done an open playtest. Do you think they'll lose the hype? So, well, and now with Battlefield 6 having this much hype as well, it's kind of like, okay, now it's even more important that you need to be like, hey, remember us? But it's their choice. They want to do that. That's fine. Yeah, I can't, you know, change their mind. The fact that they basically announced an announcement at the Summer Games Fest was also just a bit like, okay, so you've announced the announcement at Summer Games Fest, and now you're still not doing a playtest, which is what everyone wants. It was kind of just like, guys, I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you just make, like, you already have the sentiment from the community now, and they acknowledge that they made a mistake by basically making a countdown for a countdown. And it's like, wouldn't the best thing to do right now be to do a playtest, just to be like, hey guys, you know how we made everyone think there was a playtest? Well, we didn't. But they just went, nah. And it's like, okay, they're obviously that confident in the product. It's fine. We're talking about Arc Raiders, by the way, not Battlefield, for a second. Thoughts on them leaving the beta up till release? That's never a good idea. Because it means that people get burnt out. I actually like the fact that we've had 8 days of pure beta is more than enough for the amount of game that we have, and people will get burnt out on it. Also, the other thing about doing a playtest, by the way, for Arc Raiders is they 100% wouldn't have to pay anyone to play it. They wouldn't have to do any like streamer marketing because people are so desperate to play the game. They genuinely wouldn't need to do any streamer marketing or anything like that, or any kind of like videos. It would just pop off regardless. So yeah, it is a weird one. It is what it is. No uncapped frame rate if you play in borderless. Increased CPU. Yeah, I actually went full screen on this game, but that's also because I have a capture card which usually prefers full screen. But it felt good in full screen. Maybe bi-weekly. You'd like to see more beta time. So if you guys know, in the past, Battlefield has done lots, an alpha and a beta as well. For games like in this, it was the same thing with Battlefront. I think Battlefront did a beta, and Battlefield Hardline did a beta, and they had 3 maps in the beta, like this one, and then Battlefront also had 2 maps in the beta, right? And then when Hardline came out, the game released with 6 maps, or maybe 7 maps. So you'd already played half the game in the beta. I mean, this beta is doing 4 maps. So you almost are essentially playing half the game in the beta. However, obviously, we're not getting Portal, and we're not getting the Battle Royale. So there's technically more content for them to come. But the big problem, I thought, with Battlefield Hardline was, by the time the game actually came out, you already played 50% of the game total. And you were just like, right. And I feel like the betas and alphas went on for weeks, or it just felt like it went too long. And then by that point, you're already burnt out on the game, and then the game comes out, and there's not a lot of content, and you kind of go, yeah, that kind of sucks, actually. There'll be more weapons on release. Yes, there's 42 weapons. 42 weapons. Who remembers the Battlefield 4 beta? I remember it was absolutely one of the most unplayable things I've ever played in my life. But it was fun. And if I remember correctly, the Battlefield 4 beta had a version of the theater mode in it, I think. And they never put it back in. Yeah, I remember playing Battlefield 4 at like 20 FPS. It was good times. But no, didn't they in the BF4 beta, didn't they have a version of the theater mode, the cinema mode? And then they never showed it again after that beta? Not being able to adjust settings in the firing range. Yeah, I got that. I can't remember if they had the cinema mode or if I just imagined it, but I thought they would. Was BF4 unplayable at launch? It wasn't unplayable, but it crashed. It had low performance. It had a bug where if a player died in front of you, they would block bullets. It had what else did it have? It had low server hertz. I think it was like 30 server hertz at launch. It had what else did it have? Spawns where you'd spawn inside of buildings and get stuck. Charles 4 UK, thank you for the Prime. Thank you. I genuinely think I wouldn't be here today if Battlefield 4 at launch wasn't good, because it was none of the content creators wanted to play it really. So I actually got my foot in the door by playing Battlefield 4 through the issues, I think. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you get more attention on a game because less people care about it. And maybe that was part of Battlefield 4 for a while. You could hardly play a map without a crash for 6 months. Yeah, I remember that. I remember crashing like every 10 minutes on BF4 for like a good 3 months minimum. And that would just be the normal part. Rubber banding, yeah. Do you think the game will survive the hype period? Well, yeah, I think so. I think this is the most likely game to survive after its 1 or 2 month launch or whatever.
Dude, I swear I'm hitting you. What was I gonna say?
Imagine if a game released whilst crashing every 10 minutes today. I mean, it has happened. There are games that still do launch and they're just in a really bad shape. I mean, 2042 was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. I mean, people forget how rough 2042 was. It was rough. Or maybe they don't actually forget. They actually focused on it quite hard. This game will be active for a long time. Yeah, I think so. I think it has the potential to do well. New Paul looks promising. Yeah. Hello, George.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I have no choice, do I?
Rubber banding. Yeah, the rubber banding. Yeah. But they eventually fixed it up, which is the same thing they did with 2042. It's the same thing they did with Battlefield 4. It's the same thing we did with Battlefield 5. Although Battlefield 5, if you remember, changed the entire gunplay twice, like in the first 3 months, and then again 6 months later for some reason. We don't know why. Base take shotgun's not broken. Wrong. It's too good. Too good at like mid range. Is Ori with me? Yes. And now you've woken her up because I looked around. And now she's coming down. I think they need to increase spawn times. They need to, well, I like the fact that you're able to like get into the action quickly, but I think that breakthrough defense spawns are kind of crazy. And that's why it's so hard to push them. There's multiple issues with the breakthrough defense though. That are way too strong. Way too strong. You've got nothing to worry about. Oh my god, defense breakthrough. Have I played Delta Force Conquest? Yes. Do breakthrough attackers get enough tickets? Probably need like 50 more, and they need more help pushing the objectives. I think so. To give you an idea of what I want. Ready? This is what I want to do. Okay. Let's go back to paint. What I want with breakthrough is that the attacking team has an area that the defenders can't go into. Right? Where's the paint brushes? Is that good enough? Yeah, I want an area that the defenders can't go into here. That the attackers are allowed to go into. Because what happens right now is the defenders just push into the spawn and then dominate the people pushing and just looks to just shoot directly into their spawn. And there's nothing. This is a what's it called? A choke point right here. There's absolutely nothing that the attack. I don't know why it was designed like this, because surely you should know that you can't give the defenders this hill. It just makes it near impossible. But I think there should be an area, basically, on every map, not just this one, where the defenders essentially can't go into this area, or it's like it stops them rushing to these high points, but it allows the attackers to actually hold this area here. And decrease the out of bounds time to 5 seconds. Yes, because you can go outside for 10 seconds, and it's absolutely insane. But yeah, it just feels really impossible to push on attack when the defending team can just wait in the perfect position on the hill. The defenders play like attackers. Yeah, they do. And it's just not fun being on attack on any map, by the way. And I'm pretty sure they'll have data that 95% of the time the defenders win. And they should have that data, and they must do, because I'm pretty sure I've only lost. In fact, I never lost a Cairo defense. No, wait, no. I never lost a defense, ever, on any map. I don't think I lost a single defense ever, a single time. We won an attack, I think, like on 4 times total in like 20 hours of breakthrough gameplay. We never lost a defense, ever. So that's insane. What do you know about the BR? That it's coming. They teased it, that's it. Was rush mode on next beta? Yes, we're getting rush mode this weekend, and we're getting the new map, the New York map. You got to 3rd point on Cairo, and the mountain we won a few times. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I won on attack 4 times total after 20 hours, but we never lost defense ever, which is crazy. I think they should scrap breakthrough and focus on rush. I think rush will have the same issues though. At least with rush though, you take one objective and it's done. On this mode, it was like, oh, you've taken A, and now you push into B. Oh, they've taken B, now you push to A, and you just end up in this seesaw, which got annoying. Any chance we might see something about the BR this weekend? No. Nothing this weekend. Doubt it. Will there be bullet spread in the BR mode? If I had to guess, the BR mode will be exactly the same in terms of the gunplay and mechanics as the multiplayer, but with different mode. It's just a different mode. Maybe it's gonna have like, it'll probably have plates. It'll probably have some sort of armor system. It'll probably have some sort of pickup system. But all of the health and the damage and the attachments, I assume, are gonna be basically exactly the same, just like Call of Duty. I'm here for the rewards. That's fine, I guess. What do you think about the VR? Is it going to be free? Almost 100% yes. Because of what we've heard about the fact that they want 100 million players, the absolute only way they're getting 100 million players on this game is with a free-to-play element. So it's almost guaranteed that the VR is going to be free-to-play. BF6 devs say the time to kill is faster than expected. Good. They're never reaching 100 million. Well, you say that. We're not talking about 100 million concurrent, by the way. They're talking about 100 million registered players. So, for instance, a game like Call of Duty Warzone, which is its own thing, has 160 million registered players, and Battlefield wants to reach 2/3 of that. So, there's a chance. There's a chance that they'll reach 100 million registered players if it's free to play, which it definitely has to be, because there's absolutely no way that's happening if it's not. And it has reached more players on Steam than Call of Duty. So obviously with a free to play element though. Imagine playing a BR when you're over the age of 14. Well, that's all I've ever done. Guys, the battle royales are fun. Okay, they can be fun. You've just got battle royale fatigue. That's all. They are fun, but they're also sweaty, and they can also be rough to play on solo and stuff like that. But it's just another mode that increases engagement, and they're often worth doing. No one plays COD on Steam. Well, but they do. Well, unfortunately, they do. But yeah, like hundreds and thousands of them. And by the way, we're not judging the player count based off just Steam. They're talking about their global player count across all platforms, not just Steam. And that's probably 1 million. There was probably 1 million concurrent across all platforms for this beta. Am I the most hyped for this BF game compared to the last 3? I would say this game has as much hype as Battlefield 1, if not more.
Am I using flick backwards?
So,
I'm not using flick.
Yeah.
Flick look, no.
Are there more attachments for guns on release? I think so, yeah.
People who could res me? Never mind, guys.
Especially scopes. I hope they don't add loadouts to BR. Would it be the worst thing in the world? Shittix. Thank you very much for the Prime. Charles, I think I got Charles 4. Thank you. And again, thanks to the people following. Appreciate it.
Always the way. Waiting for that perfect shot that will never come.
Game is tons of fun. It is. That's what I'm saying. I'm still having fun with the game. The thing that I've noticed the most is that I play the game for 10 hours and I'm not bored. I'm not like burnt out, which is what happened with some other games. You know, you play the game for 3 hours and you're just like, all right, I'll give that a rest for a day. They should remove showing enemies on the map. I mean, that's been a thing since Battlefield 3. So I don't think they're going to do that. So close to 500,000 followers. True.
Just search for it on anything. Any platform. I think it's on all of them.
You're nervous about activating secure boot. I mean, it shouldn't brick your PC. Just make sure you look up a guide on how to do it for your motherboard. That's what I keep saying to people. The BR cannot copy the Warzone formula. But the problem is that's also their target market. And it's a formula that works. And they're going to have vehicles, right? That's the whole point. The whole point is it's going to be Warzone, most likely, with vehicles and destruction. That's what they're going to go. Like, how are they going to innovate at this point? You know what I mean? How do they innovate the battle royale, you know, society? How do they change it? Yeah, they're going to add the cartoon characters. That's going to be so exciting. Can't wait for that. My only concern is the BR and BF5 that they made didn't do as well as they hoped. It didn't. But they also decided to not make it free. They decided to make it a paid product, and that's probably one of the reasons why it didn't do well. But if it had been free, would it have even made the money anyway? Because they couldn't go crazy with the monetization on Battlefield 5. Oh my god, he's invisible. I couldn't see him. Imagine this map with mortars. I'm telling you, dude. You guys haven't even seen the worst of it yet. If they add, once they add the mortars to this game in any capacity, it's going to be insane. Did I run into any cheaters? I don't think so. If you've got your mouse sense correct, you don't always need to innovate and change things. But that's the problem, though. If they just brought out a Warzone clone with no changes, then it's just kind of like, well, we've already got that. Maybe if it's just a Warzone with no cheaters. Who knows? I'm interested to see how sledgehammers and ladders change gameplay. I think the ladders are going to be a huge addition to Battlefield. I think the ladders are actually going to change the game more than you think because of where you can get to places that you would never expect because it's completely dynamic. I think there's going to be people just waiting in spots that you would just be like, oh shit. Or they're going to like rush a building from an angle that you'd never know about. Grab a ladder. Exactly. What are they doing for anti-cheat? Well, they've already turned on secure boot. And so far, the ladder means will be peak content. They will. It's going to be the ultimate flanking routes with the ladders. And in fact, that's a video right there, Jack. The best ladders I found in 100 hours of Battlefield 6. And you're going to be like, oh, if you're attacking this objective on B, look where you can put a ladder. Look where you can stick this ladder to flank the enemy team on B point. Will the ladders stay in position? I'm pretty sure I don't know if they disappear when you die either. I have no idea. I genuinely don't know. I couldn't remember if the ladders just stayed there for the rest of the round. Me and Westy had a smallest ladder competition. Could you do one? Can you just do one handle? Can you put ladders on top of ladders? I didn't even know. Could you actually block a doorway with a ladder? I got three or four of them then. Ladder skyscrapers. Okay, actually crazy. I got like 3 of them on that nade, I think. Just blow it up. Yeah, you can definitely destroy the ladders. Oh my god, yes. No. But can you ladder on a ladder? And if you... Are there going to be strategies where if you ladder up in spawn, you could potentially ladder to the skybox if enough of you are dedicated enough? Think about it. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about just creating a wall of ladders in the spawn? Like the CSGO, what's it called? Stacking peaks. This is the video that we've already uploaded, but it's fine. There you go. Can you put ladders on players? If we work the tank, I think that's our only chance. Not even it has been slated, I guess, that you won't be able to block anything. Okay. We'll see. But I guess you can just blow them up. Grab a ladder. Field. Oh my god, can you launch a ladder right up someone's... Can you know how you could do that with the... Oh, what was it? When you know how you could do the gas mask kill in Battlefield 1? Can you just like see someone standing there, put a ladder right at their feet and just launch them into orbit, or potentially pierce them? Because you've got to do that. Come on, if the devs are watching, come on. Like, why would you not? Why would you not do that? Oh my god, can you? Oh, I've just thought about this. Can a vehicle be driving towards you, about to run you over, you put a ladder down, and they smash into the vehicle and explode. Or you put the ladder down at an angle and launch them off the map because it creates a ramp. Dude, come on. There's so much. There's so many things they could do here. Have you got not getting out of the front of tanks on the list? I'm pretty sure when you get out of tanks, if it's wherever you're facing in the vehicle. Ladder on a ladder extension. That's what I'm saying. Can we get multiple ladders? Why would they even? It was like the hovercrafts on 2042. You know, they removed that. Why did they remove that? What if you were able to build an entire ladder system from the spawn? And dude, have you ever thought about this, right? You know, on Portal, right? What if we have snipers versus ladders? Where it's lots of blocks, right? So there's snipers on one side and then lots of blocks. And the only way to climb up the blocks from the other side that are in the air is to use the ladders. And then you can like ladder yourself from... Oh, it's going to be great, guys. And then if you fall, you obviously die. Ladders versus snipers. Come on.
So what, are you a recon main? Okay.
8 snipers versus 56 climbers. Yep.
I always thought the recon was like the weakest class.
What if they made the ladders like Death Stranding, so they stayed in the next lobby? Dude, what if every ladder that's ever put in the game stays in every single lobby? What about that? Oh yeah, by the way, look, this is from the video. Look at this. This guy is 150 meters away, right? If I had to guess. M4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dead. Insane. I mean, the M4 literally does everything. The M4, carbine.
That's fine. I'll go back to the sniper now.
You really enjoyed the stream today? Had a good energy. Add me on Discord. Oh my god, that sounds so good. That's definitely not a scam. Yeah, he said my stream was good. Can't be true. What class should have the ladder? I mean, assault probably, but I think recon should probably have the ladder. This is what I'm saying. Give the spawn beacon to assault, but give the ladder to recon. You don't have to claim a game code at all, warrior. You just need to be here next time.
And then they wait for too long, and then they just shot.
No one would say that. It should be retractable. I don't know. Ladder skins. Now you're thinking. Okay, here you go. How should they monetize the game? Apart from just, like, obviously they're going to have, like, skins. What is an acceptable level of monetization for Battlefield 6? Cosmetics only. Right, so we're talking gun skins, Nicki Minaj. No, gun skins. Obviously, player skins that still match the class that you're playing. Are you going to be able to change, like in Battlefield 5, can you change the helmet, the chest, the legs? And then you look like a, you know, you've been thrown through Top Man or something? What? Tank skins, gun skins, player skins, charms, Nicki Minaj. You know, are we going to get to play as Post Malone? What if they did crossovers like Post Malone, but he has to be dressed in an outfit that would make sense? Is that too far? What if Nicki Minaj is in the game, but she's wearing, you know, full medium armor? You know, they're wearing the full, you know, the full set. If it's matched to the game sick, there you go. Honestly, the meme would actually be they add Nicki Minaj into the game, but she actually looks like an operator. It could work.
There you go, temp classroom. That's what it's called.
Do you know what I think they should do, by the way? And this would be insane if they did this. Imagine that they did add interesting skins to the game, but you just have a button that can just turn them off. so that anyone wearing different skins on your client just doesn't exist on your client. And if you want stupid skins, you can select it. So it doesn't matter that someone buys a skin for whatever. You can just make it so that, hey, if I have this on, that skin just never exists for me.
What do you mean?
People buy them to show them off. Yeah, but most people wouldn't turn them off.
Yeah. You'd be like, absolutely not.
I've always wanted that anyway, by the way. Especially on games like Warzone, where you literally have... There's literally a Terminator skin that literally breaks the game.
Our tank is doing some crazy work as well.
Didn't COD do that? No. I wish there was a button on Call of Duty where I just go, don't show me the skins, and just have default skins for everyone. Done.
Where is this?
And that way, and I'm telling you right now, people wouldn't not buy the skins because some people wouldn't see them. They would still get sales. They could even test it.
Yeah. I know, by the way, whoever's in the tank.
Anyway, that would be my thought. Maybe it would be DLC, $50 for the button.
I'm literally trying to. Where is it?
Anyway, that's what I want them to do on Call of Duty anyway. I want them to have a button where you can just turn off skins because it's dumb as fuck. That you can actually have pay-to-win skins. Stupid as fuck. One of the things I'm passionate about.
I think I finally got the thing that was scratching my mouse pad.
They won't do that because less sales. But I honestly don't think it. I don't think it would affect sales. I genuinely don't think it would affect sales because you can see them and your friends can see them, and most enemies would probably not even know that you could turn off the skins anyway. So I don't think it would genuinely affect sales. I don't think it's a problem. But you know, it is what it is. Are you telling us that there's a Stod skin coming as a drop? Is this my way of making people comfortable? It's like, guys, maybe we should allow skins. Because, you know, why would, you know, aren't you going to buy my skin when it comes out? You know, maybe we should have skins, you know? Maybe we should have skins. I'm just saying, it seems like a good idea. You know, maybe me in like an apron or something, eating chicken over the sink. You know, pretty good. That would be, you know, maybe we should, and you could pay for it. Come on, guys, it would be really sick. Are we getting a Jack skin? Jack would just be the, he would be the BF3 medic. That's what, because he wears the outfit. Every time I see him, he's wearing that BF3 medic outfit every single time. And it's really awkward during dinner because he has to force the food through his mask. A Stoddy Santa skin? Maybe.
We're still taking A.
Westy on the toilet with no shirt on? Honestly? That would be incredible. A shirtless, what's it called? Charm. Just naked Westy on the toilet, charm. So good. No one can even see the charm. So it wouldn't even affect other people. Tomo would be a giant trash bag. Yes, dude. Now, see, this is what the people want. A Stoddy sniper skin would be cool. Now, listen, if they eventually do add, there is genuinely no things for skins, but we'll see. You know, that would be, you know, I'll happily take a check for the Stoddy skin. But obviously, maybe if they actually made it so that you had like a Stoddy charm. I think a charm's all right. We can get away with Stoddy charms. Please buy it. Please buy the Stoddy charm when it comes out. I think charms are fine, in my opinion. Take it easy. I'm not enjoying your stream. Best of luck. That's absolutely fine. I'm not even going to ban that guy. That was just really a normal way of saying this. That's fine. Face scan yourself for every player. I mean, I'll be honest. I do find it sad that we don't do face scans anymore. Although someone would definitely just face scan. They would do a rectal scan, wouldn't they? And then you end up with someone with an arse for a face. Yeah, maybe it's good that we don't do face scans anymore. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I just forgot about the fact that we used to do face scans. Yeah.
I know what you mean, though.
That's definitely what would happen if you gave anyone any kind of customization for face scans, wouldn't it? What about custom flags and patches? Yeah. But do you not remember? I mean, even when they allowed you in what was it? Was it Call of Duty Black Ops 1 where you could make your own emblem? It was, right? That was the first time we had that. And it was just full on just like the most insane shit imaginable. It was just basically racism, naked people, cocks, anything you could think of. Yeah, so maybe that isn't the best idea. Maybe no custom. Forget the custom stuff. Forget it. I love the custom emblems. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. They're good as long as you can stop people just basically ruining it for everyone else. It was a lawless time. Yeah. It was definitely, there was definitely something wrong there. That's what makes the game human. I know people are just like, oh, but my, what's it called? My, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to be able to put whatever you want online, but there has to be limits. Censorship, that's the one. Yeah, listen, I get it, but it does, sometimes it goes too far. I like the openness. In TF2, use the porn sprays. Oh, I remember those, yeah. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah. Good times. Before the dark times. You remember in the custom maps in CS where every map creator would hide some sort of illicit image in the maps that you had to go and find? That was good times. Hide and seek. Oh, actually, to be fair, I think one of the first things in Portal that's going to happen is someone's definitely going to make a prop hunt mode, for sure. I don't know how easy that's going to be. That you can basically, but I mean, if they haven't thought about it yet, it should definitely be in the game. And also, I'm just thinking about Portal when it releases, right? 100%. We're getting budget Strike at Karkand off the rip. We're getting budget Dust 2. We're getting budget Grand Bazaar. We're getting budget Crash from Call of Duty. There's going to be so many remakes of maps. Because obviously now, before in 2042, you couldn't add assets to the game. But now, you can basically make whatever map you want in Portal. You're going to get, yeah, budget Rust, budget Metro. Metro, I think, is actually going to be very difficult to remake. Because it's underground and the assets are going to be very limited. But I think any of the maps that are kind of like blocky, so CS maps and stuff, I think are going to go off. Now, my question is if someone literally makes a carbon copy of a map, is that technically copyright? Could they technically do a DMCA takedown if someone makes that map? If it's using not the same assets? Because if it's the EA technically isn't making money from it, and the person who made the map isn't making money from it, it is simply, do you know what I mean? No one like that. You cannot argue that someone is directly making money from because there's Dust 2 in the map. Do you know what I mean? They do it in Fortnite all the time. That's what I'm saying. So I think someone could try and take it to court, but it would be a really awkward kind of like, it wouldn't make any like nonsensical thing to do because it would be really hard to win. Like they could possibly do that. Because I think there is going to be a lot of that now that you can make the assets. Yeah, no, EA isn't going to make the maps, especially the ones from other games. But what I'm saying is it's definitely going to be, there's going to be loads of CS maps 24/7, Dust 2, TDM 24/7. I'm not talking about them copying game concepts. I'm talking about straight up just the exact map layout of every other game that's ever existed. Nintendo issues mass takedowns, but that's different though. That's where you're allowed to DLC or downloadable content. You're allowed to add your own. Like for instance, if I put Mickey Mouse as a as a character in my game, and I allowed that to happen, then yeah, you could justify, you know, Mickey Mouse with an assault rifle. It's not going to go down well. But like, if it just looks like thing, or if, you know, I don't think they can argue that. If it just looks like the map and it just happens to have the same layout, but it's using different assets, you know what I mean? That's gonna be the thing. You can't copyright a map layout, precisely.
Hang on, we're just gaming right now. Yeah, no,
Basically, as long as we don't go into Nintendo territory, we're good. But every other place, you should be alright. I'm pretty sure even if I just made the map layout look like the image of Mario, you'd get DMCA'd. Even if it didn't make any sense.
I will admit.
Steamboat Mickey's public domain now. There you go. You can make a Steamboat Mickey map and character. Yeah, you hear that? Epic Games issued a DMCA takedown on Call of Duty maps in... Wait, why would Epic Games issue a DMCA takedown on their own game? Do you mean that Activision issued a DMCA takedown on Call of Duty maps before that?
Ain't no way. By the way, look how many people we
Surely.
on the team are just on that hill. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm confused about that. Would it be not classed as fair use? As I said, there's very interesting legal stuff regarding the portal things that are gonna have to be seen. You know?
Dude, screw this guy. This guy's sitting on the mountain 900 meters away.
We'll have to see how it works. You said the word Nintendo, you're getting sued. I shouldn't have even brought it up. Do you think they'll do like a night map, night vision stuff like they showed in the campaign? I hope so. That would be honestly a really cool, again, portal idea.
Dude, our teammate Okarun, he's putting in a shift for this objective, bro.
The village people issued a YMCA takedown. Okay. I wasn't expecting to read that today. I actually read it like, oh, this is something serious that happened.
Nice, we're taking A.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that. Zavod at night. Oh my god, yeah, we're gonna get all the old maps as well.
Got the sniper on the top.
And honestly, I reckon some of the maps might be because this is the thing. You're gonna have access to a lot of assets, but I think you're not getting access to every asset in the game, right? And I'm pretty sure that you have access to, like, for instance, the city biome, like the New York map. So we're gonna have a lot of maps that are like city maps, but I don't think you're gonna be able to like remake Dust 2 unless they give you access to every single asset in the game, which I really doubt. I think they're only going to give you access to like a small amount, kind of like a limited amount. We should shoot down with one shot the UAV. No, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. How long's this game got left? I have... Oh, it's about 8 minutes. All right, I can last. I can last that long. Did they talk about the campaign? No. The one thing I've not heard absolutely anything about at all is the campaign. Nothing. I have heard nothing about the campaign. Apart from there was the teaser trailer, which I think contained a lot of the campaign stuff. This cow's on life support. Oh no, there won't be after this stream, apart from the actual beta content, there won't be any more streams. I'm not doing another stream tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Thursday. Maybe I'll do one more Melk stream after the beta's over. But after that, we're probably going to actually just play older Battlefields, because I really don't want to go back to Warzone, if I'm honest. Rumors that the campaign was a little behind, and that's why we've seen very little. Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not that bothered about the single player, but I know it is important to some people, or a lot of people, because it's kind of like the value of the game. You play the single player, and then the multiplayer is kind of like what fills out your time after the fact. You know, it should be. It used to be single player first, multiplayer second, but now it's multiplayer first, single player second, for sure. And so, like, I'm not massively bothered if the single player isn't the best thing I've ever played in my entire life. Do you think they'll do phantom Easter eggs? I think they would be stupid not to do Easter eggs in some capacity, because Easter eggs are just like, what I find insane about Call of Duty, right, is there are entire YouTube channels dedicated to Easter eggs in Call of Duty, and they have millions of subs with hundreds of thousands of people looking for the. Oh, look at what happened to my body there, by the way. And it's like Easter eggs seem to me like a pretty simple thing to do that has huge mass appeal that you should just absolutely do on every game, and I don't know why they don't. Is the Frostbite engine capable of prop hunt? Yeah. Definitely. Anything's possible on the Frostbite engine. You know that Plants vs. Zombies was built on Frostbite, I think? The Sims is built on Frostbite, right? I could be wrong. Just like the Unreal Engine, the Frostbite literally is the engine they use for everything. I don't know if the Sims is Frostbite, but they have other games that are just random games that are built on Frostbite. FIFA is on Frostbite. Dragon Age on Frostbite. Is the Sims on Frostbite? I could be wrong about that. Need for Speed, yeah. Mass Effect Andromeda, well. Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront, and Star Wars Battlefront is literally the best looking game of all time. Wait, can someone work that out? Is the Sims on Frostbite? I said that with such conviction, but I actually don't know if that's true. It uses a custom-built engine. Right, okay, so I was wrong about that. But yeah, there's a lot of variety of games on Frostbite engine, and apparently it's not the funnest engine to work with, so I don't know if they've changed that, by the way. I don't know if the Frostbite engine has got better to work with over time, but we've heard a lot of times that the Frostbite engine is a nightmare to work with. But things do look really good on the Frostbite engine. What AR is that? This is the MK417. Maybe Sims 5 is on Frostbite. Frostbite was created for FPS games? Yeah, I'm sure it was, but that's what I'm saying. FIFA is on Frostbite. And the other thing as well, one thing that I feel like, what was it I was talking about the other day? Something about the Frostbite engine feels less fluid than Call of Duty in some ways, and I know that's going to offend some people. I don't know what it is. I think it's when you're in the air or when you're running around, it feels more floaty on Battlefield than it does in Call of Duty. Offended. No, some people will be upset, but genuinely, I think sometimes some things that Call of Duty do are slightly better in terms of fluidity, for sure. And I don't know what it is. Oh, there you go. A major example is the parachute system. The parachute system in this game feels bad. It feels clunky. It feels like a game from 10 years ago. That's one thing I think they really, really need to focus on. I think the parachute system in Call of Duty feels almost flawless. Like, it feels smooth. It makes sense. Whereas the parachute system in this game feels horrific. Like, it really doesn't make sense. It feels like you're not connected to your character. It doesn't feel right at all. That's one thing I really think they need to focus on with the parachute. And honestly, if they just copy the Call of Duty parachute system, I think it would just genuinely be a lot better in terms of how fluid it feels. They have to fix it for BR? Maybe. But yeah, that's the one thing I would say, is that the parachute system needs a lot of work, because it just feels really weird right now. The fact that you float in midair and you're like, you can stay stationary in midair after you cut your parachute, and you kind of float, or you just stay. There's like no physics on your character when you cut your chute. It just doesn't make sense to my head. I'm gonna tell. I've already got this all written down, guys. I've got a huge list of things that I'm gonna talk to the devs about directly. I'm probably not gonna do it publicly. I'm just gonna tell them and say, here's a list. You know, you don't have to, listen, but here's a list of things that I went through that I thought were important. The frag animation seems odd. Yeah, it's a bit fast. Thoughts on King of the Hill and escalation? King of the Hill feels it's whatever. Well, yeah, Jack Frags is right here. I could just tell him to change it right now. He can just go into the settings and just change everything. What was it? Wait, what was I saying? Thoughts on King of the Hill. King of the Hill, I feel like is like another domination. It's probably a mode that I'm not going to play. It's like 8v8. I don't really care. Escalation though feels like it could be a good mix between like Breakthrough and Conquest, and I'm actually interested in that.
Come on. Just stay on the point.
But yeah, I feel like King of the Hill is just going to be very sweaty, like 8v8, very like almost Call of Duty-esque ground war. I don't know if I'm that interested in it.
Come on.
You know?
Come on. Yes.
Make my list prioritized. I'm gonna write my list in a way that's readable, as opposed to being like grenade shit ? I'm gonna be like, here's why I think the grenade doesn't feel good, etc. I'm not just gonna give them a list of, I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, here's a list, just work it out. God, just here's why I think it's bad. Just it's a grenade. You need to sort out. Parachutes feel bad. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say parachutes feel floaty, weird. The physics don't make sense. You cut it. I'm gonna give descriptors. It's just a starting point. And that's that. Anyway, I didn't even know that I was gonna play, or I guess play. I didn't even know that I was gonna stream this today. I kind of just got on, and I was just like, oh yeah, I could play some Battlefield 1 or something, but honestly, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna get on and do that. To be honest, I just wanted to talk about the game. It was good to get some people's feedback that I forgot, because obviously I played the game for 30 hours and I completely forgot. I completely forgot half the things that I said whilst I was playing, and I was like, oh yeah, how am I going to actually collate all this information without basically asking people what they remember from what I've already said? So it is interesting. But yeah, it's been a long one either way. Oh yeah, we could raid someone today, I think. After all, why not? I think we fully milked the Battlefield 6 beta, and then obviously we're going to milk it even more on Thursday. Mark B, thank you very much for the membership, Scout membership. Thank you. Bull the Dog, Shittix, thank you for the primes. Thank you so much to all the people who followed today, even though obviously you didn't need to, and there was no drops, or at least there was drops for the people who already had them, but not new drops. So it's a weird one. Either way, it's been milked. I didn't want to get on and play anything else. I probably won't be on tomorrow, and I will be on Thursday at the same time. So yeah, on Thursday I will be back and we'll be playing the actual game. What a surprise. Anyway, I think we're gonna raid Max Zeke because he's live and he's actually playing 2042. He's not milking it. And to be fair, Max Zeke could be milking it right now, and he's not. So good for him. I think that's the... I need to make sure I've got the right one, because I don't want to raid an offline channel. Yeah, that is correct. Anyway, guys, it's been a lovely day of talking to you all. I've enjoyed it. I will be back on Thursday. I need to go and pick up a loaf of bread and hang out with my parents. So... unfortunately, only a shorter stream today. But thank you for all the follows. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for the super chats, the primes, gifted subs, gifted members. It's been absolutely lovely. Do you want the milk? Do you need a milk emote? There you go, Ella. Milk emote. Stod milked. And it's just, yeah. Well, that might not be allowed, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out either way. Hopefully it was all right, and hopefully we got to discuss the things. And I will be taking this feedback to the devs personally, right? So if it doesn't end up in the game, you can personally come to me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. If it doesn't end up in the game, it is what it is, but I tried. That's all I'll say. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you on Thursday morning for more. All right. Cheers. Right, I'm going to go raid.